Yeah, buddies. It is the Bennington Show. I am Ron Bennington. That Gail Bennington is on maternity leave, but she stopped in here yesterday with the baby, and we were all, everybody but Chris was very, very happy about it. And Earl put a spinner on his head and then acted like he was flying. I never saw Earl as the fun uncle, but way more fun. Well, Chris kept his distance and kept quiet. And then Vito yelled and then didn't even want to pick the baby up after all this. Like, take me to Brooklyn. I want to meet the baby. So, Earl, you win Uncle of the Day.
Thank you, Ronnie B. Love babies.
You do. You oddly love babies.
Well, I've been around them since I was 8 years old, so with all the nieces and nephews.
Yeah, but a lot of people who are go, oh, I don't like kids. I come from a big family. You do all the goo goo gaga faces and you jump up and down with it. You know who else is a big fan of babies? Fezzy. Fezzy back in the hospital. Let everybody know that. He let me know last night.
Get better, Fezzy.
Huh?
Feel better, Fezzy.
He hasn't felt better since he was born, Earl. Wow, how that is this is like saying to a person is disabled, get up and start walking. Doesn't happen. I'm just going to start putting together the obituary. I guarantee you this, there won't be a dry eye in the house by the time I'm done. And by that, I mean, I'm going to have them laughing so hard. It's going to turn into a roast. I think he'll be okay. He was just very dizzy. And a lot of times that's just because someone had a pinwheel. You know him. Or maybe you shouldn't have Reese's cups for dinner when you have fucking sugar diabetes. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I am a doctor of philosophy, though. So. Here's the big story of the day to me, out of everything. And by the way, we did Norm Macdonald today. If you aren't on that list to come in and see people, it was just so much fun, particularly when Norm has the entire media shitting on him right now. To catch him in that eye of the storm and kind of laugh about it. That was very fun. It was a very fun day.
To get on that list, you go to BenningtonShow.com and put in your email information on a pop-up.
You're my Adam right now.
Thank you.
Explain what I'm talking about, Chris.
Adam is Norm's sidekick on Norm Macdonald Has a Show, which premieres on Netflix on September 14th, this Friday.
Also, Adam does all the booking out there at the Comedy Store. And he's like, oh my God, I got to have this Unmasked show come out here. And I go, the second it snows, I'm coming out to LA, but in a very David Lee Roth Beach Boys cover way. Not the original Beach Boys song, but the David Lee Roth cover of that. I just got the cutest picture today. I can't show it to Chris, but it does no good. But it's 7 weeks. This baby's smiling like there's no tomorrow. Just adorable. Just love that kid. Oh, we got some nice stuff left here, too, for us.
Yeah, Maureen dropped off some cookies, some homemade cookies, and a bag of peanut M&Ms.
The way of smacking you guys in the face.
Exactly, for my thievery.
But why didn't you just do what she's done to get this thing off? Let me just say this. We had an Unmasked run late today because Norm was on Howard's show, and that one ran late because they were doing a great interview. And like I said, Norm's in the center of the storm, and, this is the time to get him. My 3 producers are so shy and quiet. And then at one time, the 2 bosses were there, and they're like, we need to get everybody out of this room. Your people have to get down. Because you had them waiting, and then that ran late. They said, Chewbacca's here. And everybody wants to see Chewbacca. And I guess Chewbacca's doing a town hall as we speak.
Yeah, I think Chewbacca's doing something in the fishbowl.
But with just Chewbacca?
I don't know if there's any other people. Human speaking.
This is the thing that happens. And Earl, you've been gone for a while. So it looks like somebody from Solo has to be here besides Chewbacca. My guys don't care. This is something that we could get signed, give out for Christmas presents. Down the hall, first quarterback to ever win 4 Super Bowl rings. My guys don't have a football. Have them sign it.
Nothing.
Bradshaw's beloved. So then they go, you got to get your people out of here. No one can find Chris, and the other producers are afraid to take the fucking reins. And I go, where's Chris? He's doing something that's below his pay grade, and he's not there with his audience. I don't know what I got to do, but every Unmasked, I got to sit down with you guys and go, this is the way it Unmasked. I know you've done 100 of them, Chris.
Yes.
But here's a chance, and you kill. But here's a chance the 2 bosses are there, and they think that you're fucking crazy.
I like the timing of the things that I do is always the worst.
Because you try to do everything instead of being the leader. Go to Monday Night Football. The guy who's producing Monday Night Football is not running around getting coffees for people. You have no belief in your team, or you don't say to your team, I'm going to be going, here's what I want you to do if something comes up. So then when I talk to him, he's trying to give me one word, and I'm in front of the bosses trying to say, here's where we're going. He won't interact with me. So then he leaves, and they go, he doesn't even interact with you. He doesn't talk to you. I go, he's just stressed today. But yes, you are right. From what you saw just today, I can see why you have the feelings that you do. And they're going, what about Earl? Can Earl step up? I go, Earl's new back into the game. But you're going to have to, Earl.
Whatever you need.
Rather than whatever I need, because Chris is a whatever I need guy, Vito is a whatever I need guy. I need the producer of a live event to go, I'm producing this. This is my show. Ron is just a talking monkey that I throw on fucking stage every once in a while. That's it. He's a puppet that fucking dances at the end of my strings. That's the way producers think. But you guys are like, when Ron tells me something to do, I'll do it. You've got to fucking take it upon yourself to have a little pride in your show. And Vito, you of all people, you're the only gregarious guy I got. And you get so shy with those folks.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I like locked up, but I gotta fucking get over that.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know. I think it's just a fear of failing, but I gotta get over that.
You're already failing. That's the
true.
beauty of it. Think of yourself as a failure. And that means you got nothing left to lose.
It's only up.
I said, they go, what is going on with Vito? I go, I think he's a real boozy Susie. I go, I think he's drunk in here every day.
No,
and they go, oh, okay, now I understand.
I don't drink on weeknights. It's like a big rule I do. I don't drink on weeknights. I don't come in.
But you behave like a drunk when you're sober. At least if you were a drunk, I could send you to rehab and protect your job. I have nothing to say now to them. Like, why were you afraid to go, I'll take over, we can't find Chris?
Because I didn't know.
Who else is down there besides Chewbacca?
It's just a meet and greet with Chewbacca.
There's a fucking bunch of people.
It's just Chewbacca for the DVD release of Solo. That's all it is.
Inside that room?
Yeah, he's just standing out there, and it's just
no. They're in the fishbowl right now.
I'm gonna check the fishbowl because from what I've understood, it's like they do this every DVD release. Like Stormtroopers came in once.
I'm trying to tell you, I just walked past a packed fucking thing. I don't know what happened in the past. But there's a picture up on the Instagram of Chewbacca and Vito, and then I say, from what I understand, a lot of people, a lot of people have said to me, it looks like Chris and Vito together. Justin Stengel just wrote to me, the actor you got to play the baby was adorable. Your show business. The Tonight Show did, I would say, ban. Some people would say cancel, but banned Norm Macdonald. He was supposed to appear last night. This is why, and I tried to explain it to him, you can't be caught not with the mob. I try to run with the mob now. Whatever the mob is against, that's what I'm against. Like, I was all for Cynthia Nixon to be the next governor. The mob has decided she eats the wrong kind of bagels, so I'm running over. I went right behind Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer moved over and said, even though I gave $10,000 to Cynthia Nixon, I'm now back with Cuomo. And I go, I'm back with Cuomo too. That's how you stay safe in this world. You run with the mob. You don't let your opinions get out there one way or another. You just stay in the middle. Stay in the middle at all times. So, you know, I'm like, when people are going, what do you think of this Nike thing about, you know, some guys are kneeling and then they put Kaepernick in, and I'll go like this. Well, what do you people think? Because that's what I think too. Whatever room I'm in, I think like you. And that's why you look at the old NEW crew, last man standing. Last man standing. Everybody else from the original lineup is on some kind of internet now.
True survivor.
Here's what you got to do. Lie. Lie and be with the room. And I'll say, I'm as outraged or as elated as you are. I'm a mirror, an emotional mirror. That's what I am. I bet you like to have one of these cookies today, Chris.
I would, yeah. I'm looking at it. They look pretty good.
After you stole my M&M peanuts,
Yeah.
I'm still going to say, here, take these cookies. How many do you think you'll eat?
Let's say 6. Half a baker's dozen.
No, 6 would be half of a real dozen. A baker's dozen would be 6.5, half of a baker's dozen. A baker's dozen is the baker throws an extra little one in there for you.
That's nice.
This is why we call it a baker's dozen, not just a dozen. Because that name, your name is 12, that would work just perfect, just saying dozen. Earl, you're gluten-free now, though, right?
No, I'm not gluten-free at all.
Do you want one of these cookies?
Sure.
Or would you like a baker's dozen? Have Vito come in and pick up some cookies for you guys.
Thank you, Ron.
That's beyond the fact that I was disappointed how shy the three of you were today. And beyond the fact that you all ate my M&Ms. Except for Earl.
Earl's innocent of that. Vito is not.
Vito, how are you going to do them? Just carry them in your hand? Or you got a little plate?
I was going to take this as a plate.
Oh, all right. Here, let me just try some of that little icing that's on that. She is quite the baker, huh?
Oh, yeah. And she bakes en masse. Like, this, it's not just like a couple of things.
What do you mean in mass? Like she makes a lot of them?
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot, yeah.
What do you think? Somebody would just make a cookie? Is that how you make it? I know you're a single guy. You just make yourself a cookie. All right, speaking of cookies, here's this story. Vito, before you run out, I want you to hear this story. So you're well aware of the Beatles, right? Yeah. We have the Beatles channel here. The Beatles have been the most popular people on the planet for 55 years. We have heard every possible Beatles story there is. And then yesterday, there was a new one that shocked us all. Paul said he and John were in a circle jerk when they were younger. And the people would yell out like, Bridget Bardot, and you had to keep jerking off thinking about Bridget Bardot, even though there was like 5, 6 guys. And then when it was John's turn and they were all jerking off, he yelled out Winston Churchill. Just so everyone knows it doesn't keep up with the Beatles. John was the witty one.
Is that what a circle jerk is? Just jerking off like at each other?
In a circle, yes.
I thought it was everybody jerked each other off.
No, absolutely not. That would be a completely gay thing. This is just close buddies.
Okay.
Jerking off. Now, you've heard of the Ookie Cookie before, right?
Yeah.
So That is, you're all jerking off on one cookie, I guess, and the last person to come, and I imagine that person doesn't come at all, is the person who has to eat the cum-covered cookie. Now, Paul tells this like, oh, here's an amusing, cute story. And Paul is he 80 yet?
No, he's in the
75 or something?
I think he's 76.
Oh, he's 76. So you go, he's an old guy, he doesn't care. But he had to know since he was 23 not to tell this fucking story. You know what I mean? Keep your fucking mouth shut about that night that we ran a train on ourselves. So this is just him letting go at this age.
I can't wait for the rest of the stories that are going to come out. Because if you let's a circle.
You're not going to get another bigger story than this. And go ahead, swallow your cookie first.
Yummy.
You're in no fucking hurry to jump in with, I hope there's more stories.
Do you think that means that they were like doing circle jerks a lot though?
That I think, in my opinion, you've only got to do one.
Okay.
For me to put, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't say, hey, we only did it once, but any more than you can say, we only murdered one person. You're not bringing up all the people we didn't murder, you know? This is a story about some youngsters who could have easily went to different parts of the house. You know what I mean? I mean, they wanted to be together and do this. That's my point. I know that you probably have something like that. That's why you're saying it should take a baker's dozen before anyone judges you. But I disagree.
Who do you think brought up the idea of let's do the circle jerk?
Why are you bringing this up as more questions? What is this thing that you don't have an opinion? You're going further like someone who wants to find out whether what you did is it odd or not.
I've never had a circle jerk. I'm just curious about the whole thing of a circle jerk.
Why are you curious? Because you want to?
Maybe
call fucking Ian and tell him to jack on your fucking face tonight while you guys are watching Michael Jordan's greatest fucking dunks on YouTube. You know, instead of watching an actual basketball game, Earl, they sit around and they'll just watch somebody's greatest dunks.
Yeah.
And they're happy.
You're basically watching highlights.
Yeah,
all night?
highlight compilations on YouTube. Kobe has some really great ones.
You just said compilations. Jethro Bodine. Take your cookies in there. I doubt if Earl even finishes one.
No, his stomach.
Earl's not a sweet eater.
Earl always liked like bland food, from what I remember, from when I watched him eat.
Well, you're going from the old NEW days, because he had an ulcer that was so bad that for years he wouldn't eat anything more than mashed potatoes with a side of baked potato. It would be all. He would eat white food, is what he would do. And he would end it up with an cookie.
Perfect.
That was the way that he'd jump off, if you will. All right, 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. And by the way, I want to see if this reaches the Beatles channel. I would love that. Hey, JC from inside the Big Brother house, what do you have for us?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Just curious. I wonder if this is when they wrote the song Come Together.
That was a very fucking cute joke, JC. Kenny in Ohio. Kenny.
Jason just took my same line. Come together right now over me.
If this was like Match Game, this would be so excited because the Come Together would have won this bit. And I was thinking Jack Together. Is that a song? And by the way, we don't know how young they were when they did this. For all I know, you know, they know each other since they were in sandboxes. All right, the big story up there too is Nikki Glaser is confirmed to compete on Dancing with the Stars, and there's a piece up because the comedians don't normally do good in this area.
No.
A comedian probably has never had dance lessons, and actors have.
I remember Jeff Ross didn't last very long when he was on Dancing with the Stars.
Jeff Ross went out first.
Yeah.
That article is up on the iBang. Let's see if I can find this. He went out first. Penn Jillette went out first. Adam Carolla hung on for a couple. He placed 9th. So did D.L. Hughley. Tommy Chong made it to 5th place. And I know that he dances the Argentine tango. He told me that in an Unmasked. He said, here's what happened. His wife was taking tango lessons. And she's like, I love tango. And then he drove over to pick her up, got a look at her fucking tango teacher, and came in and said, hey, I want fucking tango lessons too, dude. All right? And then he ended up falling in love with it. But somebody did better than him, coming in 4th. This is a surprising one, I think. Bill Engvall. So I didn't picture him as the greatest comedy dancer yet, but I think we all have high hopes for Nikki Glaser.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to go far. I think they get a giant statue. I think that's the final prize for Dancing with the Stars.
What about your team? Everybody got a statue, millennials. They all wanted statues.
I think it's a disco ball.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's a trophy, not a fucking statue.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
It's not Godin. It's a fucking statue. Here's the thing. Here's two things. I picked Nikki to win this and also to have an affair with her partner. They're both down, sealed. See if it doesn't happen. Viola Davis says she hated the fact that she did the help, Earl.
But you took the role. Why did she?
She was embarrassed as a black woman for that. It made black maids look a little cartoonish, I believe. And I will say this. I agree 100%. I hated that fucking movie.
Wasn't one of my favorite movies, but...
How about me? I hated it worse than ISIS.
Worse than that?
Yeah. It makes it look like a black person shits in a fucking pie plant and has people eat it.
I don't think it's that extreme, but...
That's what happened in the movie. Did you see it? The maid took his shit into the pie pan and fed it to a white woman. And this is our big fear about working with people of color. And this movie just locked it right in. Earl, I demand that you watch that again. It's terrible.
I saw Earl take a shit in the water cooler.
You know something? If you're lying about that, you're out of here, according to HR.
Oh, God.
How many cookies have you ate so far?
I've eaten 2 so far.
You're not going to eat 6.
I'm working on it.
Why do you got to work on eating cookies when you fucking, like a vacuum cleaner, just suck down all my M&Ms?
I feel bad about that.
Fucking Vito told me, he said it was like watching an anteater. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Hey, Ant. Hey, Ant. Where are you going, Ant? Who did the voice of Anteater?
I do not know.
Just did the impression. Who did the voice of Annie?
I cannot recall. I clearly remember the character, but I don't remember who did the voice.
John Biner. John Biner did that fucking voice. He actually did both. He did the ant, is fucking Bing Crosby voice. Who's that person right there? Is that Lady Gaga, the Oscar winner?
I don't believe so.
I think Lady Gaga just walked by here with an Oscar.
They gave it to her already?
Mm-hmm.
Seems a little premature.
Read any of the reviews, my friend. It's in the bag. That is before there was a Turner Classic.
When he hated a movie, he really hated it.
He hates all the movies.
He was a terrible part.
And we sat next to, when I say we're in a little fucking screening room, and fucking Chris Stanley is sitting next to Rex Reed. Already, I am fucking thrilled. And do you remember what the name of the movie was?
I think it was it Dirty Joe?
Killer Joe.
Killer Joe.
Killer Joe. So in Killer Joe, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen a movie 5 years ago, there's a scene where Matthew McConaughey is this fucking terrible man, makes trailer trash Gina Gershon get on her fucking knees and suck on a chicken leg that he has down where his dick should be, right? And she has to blow the chicken leg. It's a horrible scene. This fucking guy is giggling and making noises. Like he's all but fucking pulling a Paul McCartney and pulling his fucking dick out.
Come on, Rex.
So Rex was disgusted and then wrote one of his many, worst movie that ever happened. I mean, the amount of times that he just said he watched the worst movie ever was in the hundreds.
It still happens today.
Well, they pulled him off the Observer for a while, and then I think it was I don't know. Somebody rebought it, I guess, after.
Yeah, someone bought it. Now he's back on, and then Drudge always links to his reviews of worst movie ever.
Yeah, he does. Well, I'm gonna give you I don't know whether I've ever said this on the air before, but when Fez came on my show, I thought that he's like, what do you want me to do? And I literally said to him, and this is when Fez was just like intern coming in, and I had met him at my club, and he's like, I'm interested in radio, so I said, come on down. And I go, we're going to find a way to get you on the air. To be totally honest, the fucking station wasn't crazy about his voice and him being on the air, because we were rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were totally rock. And he goes, I don't know what to do. And I go, have you ever seen Rex Reed just like disgusted and gossipy and shitty? I go, be that. So the initial idea, and of course Fez made it his own, but just to be like a Rex Reed, and he did like a little fucking gossip column. And I remember when he said, if you want dirt, I'm your shovel. And then I thought it was fucking hilarious right from Jump Street. And then I got sick and I took a couple days off, and I came back and I'm like, hey, where's Fez? And they're like, oh yeah, he's not coming. He hasn't come in for a while. And then I see him like 6 months later, and he goes, hey, and I go, dude, what the fuck happened, man? You were doing so great. And he goes, they told me not to come back. I fuck them. Come in here. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that much time had passed between that.
Yeah, it was months. I saw him at a wrestling event. And I guess he was like, he thought that I knew the whole time. And isn't that fucking funny, though?
And he never tried to reach out to you.
No. He was very Southern.
Okay.
He had his own, he was like a proud Southern lady. But I don't know. I think it was months. But I know that when I came back, they didn't say. They just said, oh, that guy doesn't, come around anymore. Like, that's fucking weird. He was really fucking, I think they had slammed the door in his face or something. They just understood rock. And I mean by understanding rock, they just played the same Def Leppard song every fucking day. Animal by Def Leppard. I would be grabbing it now. You can see this was the beginning of my radio career, was literally this song. A fucking dog fucker or something? So this was just as I started radio when they said, come in every day because I had my club. And finally I said to them one day, I go, what the fuck is with this record? And they're like, oh, it's testing really well. I go, but people are going to get so sick of this. I go, I got fucking records at my house if you want me to bring in some really cool shit. And they're like, no, what are you, nuts? We play tested records. These records are going to keep our jobs. They did not want to be fired by playing a bad record.
Do they play at the same time every day?
They shouldn't, but I mean, I'm doing a 4-hour shift, so I was going to hear this fucking song every fucking day for months at a time.
It would have been good at first, but months at a time.
I remember the first day going, what are we doing playing this shit? But they were gigantic. Def Leppard was gigantic. Put a bone. Dave, Ohio, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Rowdy. I was down in Indian Rocks Beach back in the 80s, living there. You guys had that huge debate going on for months where the "see ya" phrase came out from. What Def Leppard song did you ever figure out if that's...
No, that was Diaz got that from a Motley Crue fucking thing. It was just like a little doc or something on Motley Crue. And I would say Mick Mars looked into the camera and said, "See ya." And then we fucking, I guess, just ripped it off from there. Because I hadn't seen it. I knew nothing about it. And it got to be this big fucking thing. I don't know. It's terrible when you have a catchphrase, except for, to me it sounded like this. Ka-ching. Oh, that's right. You guys didn't grow up with a fucking cash register that made noise. Early only got you to bounce the past stuff. No one else understands me.
Yeah, no. Well, I grew up with cash registers.
Of course you did. You grew up holding up fucking liquor stores.
Didn't hold up liquor stores. I was too young.
You're never too young to hold up a liquor store. How do you know what age?
No, they wouldn't even let me walk into a liquor
Eventually,
store.
you could walk into a liquor store and hold it up, Earl. No one stopped fucking robbing liquor stores in 1972. You could go rob a liquor store tonight if you want to. If you had a little fucking get them up and go.
And if your intent is to rob the liquor store, they shouldn't be able to keep you out of it. No matter what your age. You're just looking to get some money.
You timidly came into that instead of just fucking busting them. That's why you got all wordy with it. You could have been like, "You dumb bastard. You could fucking just walk in at 15, hold the fucking place up." And everybody like, "You're on them. Way to go, Chris." Suddenly you'd have people like writing you like, what other podcast are you doing right now? That was the first Big Dice podcast for Gaslight Digital.
Gas Digital Network. I heard good things, did not listen.
You're not a team player. Earl, I want you to take a look at this video. This is up on the iBang. And a big black girl, and I think I could say that because I have you here, so everyone knows I'm not even slightly racist, is picking on a small little white cheerleader. You don't have it on the iBank, Chris?
That's here. Pulling it up now.
And I mean, this fight should be over fast. So let's just take a gander at it.
Nobody wants to fight. Nobody speaks on you guys. Nobody talks about you guys. Have you been checking our phone?
The white girl's saying,
Get your finger on my face.
I don't want trouble.
What are you going to do? Are you going to I'm not going to fight because I don't want to fight you. Are you going to make me get back? Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Jules, nobody wants that. Man, don't get into it.
Look at this.
Hey, get on.
That's the baddest white fucking cheerleader I've ever seen in my life.
Goddamn. Hey, get on him. Get on him.
Holy shit.
She dropped her.
Remember when everyone made a big deal about that UFC fighter that turned out to suck? Now she's in the WWE.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. This fucking girl could beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey.
Easily. In neither WWE or UFC.
So, Earl, I demand that you show that to all your sisters. Because your sisters were fighters, right?
I had one sister who was a big brawler, but...
You were afraid of her?
Yeah, she beat up dudes. I seen her punch a dude out. On a bus.
She must have been a looker, huh?
Yeah, they all were. I mean...
You really think your sisters are all pretty?
We used to hear about it all the time, so we...
Who's banging them? Who's doing it?
No.
But did they used to give it up?
Not that I know of. Don't ask.
Did you ever, like, just try to peek in their room when they had a date over?
They were smart. They didn't bring them home.
And I had friends, like young girls, be like, let's go in my room. I'm like, and walk past your parents? They're like, yeah, I can have friends in my room. I go, friends? Yeah, but look what the fuck's going to happen here the second we get in there.
Very friendly.
Some kids, I don't know whether the parents were naive or they just didn't give a fuck. Do 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 do. Vito, you're the one who found that. Where was it? Worldstar?
It was on Worldstar.
The problem with going to Worldstar is every single time I go down that fucking rabbit hole of their comments and just laugh my ass off.
Dude, not only are the people just funny, sometimes you just see full-on, like, fights that get to a... Like, I saw somebody post somebody else's address because they said, fuck you to the other guy.
I never saw that, but for me, just the fucking... the wit of this. Fat ass forgot the girl was more athletic than her. She must have brothers. Because of this, there's too many white people on here. That really annoys me. The one fucking time. Because anytime you could just read it and you'll fucking laugh your ass off. And there's not a place on the internet where you could read the N-word more, Earl. If you ever feel the need to read it.
Oh, yeah.
Black people love to say the N-word, huh?
Yeah, a little bit more than my taste and my liking of it.
I only say the N-word one place, and that's it.
Where's that?
Where there's no black people around. Vito, what is this purchase story you wanted to ask me about? I fucking see him and he goes, I gotta fucking bring this up on the air. Go ahead.
All right, so I bought something recently that I told Chris about, and he keeps making fun of me for it. It's
dildo?
No, not a dildo.
Training bra?
I would need more than a training bra.
Chewbacca fucking t-shirt?
It was.
You're fast and loose with you're like a fucking Mark on the Midway with your money.
Oh yeah, I mean I live at home, so I'm just like, just take my money. I don't even give a shit.
You don't give your mom any money towards rent?
I give my mom some money, but
how much?
She doesn't want to take a lot from me. She says,
how much you give her?
I give her like $150.
When?
A month.
She should be Airbnb in that room. She's making a lot more money.
She says she's happy I'm living at home. I got student loans to pay. We got bigger things going on.
So what's this ruse of the fucking $150?
But the thing I bought, the thing I bought was the Steph.
I like how he's trying to change the conversation.
The Steph Curry Masterclass series, where he teaches you how to play basketball.
Why would you think you could learn at this age?
It just seemed like a good purchase, and I felt like I could just bring my laptop to the local park.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I bought the whole series.
Now I know that you bought it, but did you buy it to read it, or you just? You're a Steph Curry fan, right?
I'm a Curry fan, but I really bought it to I wanted to take his tips, and I really took my laptop.
You don't play enough fucking basketball. And what is he going to do? Teach you how to shoot out the lights?
He's teaching you how to shoot the outside three. He's teaching me my dribble technique. So I took my laptop to the park, and I was just practicing like that. And they think
if you were 8, this would make sense. But you're far gone.
No, because they don't make these masterclass things for 8-year-olds. They make them for adults.
Do you know how much? Yeah, adult Roops. Do you know how much you weigh? You shouldn't even be on the court. Your fucking heart is going to explode.
Look, I can play fine. I've played some adult intramural basketball. I just need to work on. I want to work on my handling skills mainly. That's why I got the DVD.
You're the clumsiest. You're so fucking clumsy, and you got those shoes. But I'll say this: you're nowhere near Chewbacca's fucking height.
No, Chewbacca's gigantic.
There was a woman. She comes over and she says to Chewbacca, "I can't tell you how much joy you gave me when I was a kid." And she's walking back. I go, "Lady, that's not the real Chewbacca in there." I go, "That's like you going up to an Elvis impersonator and fucking telling how much the movies meant to you. That's not Chewbacca. That's Chewbacca's suit."
The Chewbacca actor got paid like millions of dollars. He's not just coming to local meet and greets.
I did see him. I'm not even kidding. You know that church up on the fucking east side would have the cellar up on the west side near you?
Yeah.
Right around 57th? Down there was a little Comic-Con. We took my niece when she was here, and Chewbacca was down there. and he was walking around in his fucking,
He had the suit.
No, not in the suit.
Oh, shit.
Just walking all over with like he's fucking half turned because he's a big tall guy and his fucking back and neck are in terrible shape now. And his feet look like every step was just so painful. He was just had these, instead of shoes, he had on telephone booths on each foot. Poor fucker.
What a freak.
I was just poking him with a stick. That's fucking ridiculous that you thought you could become a better basketball player.
My shooting is fine. It could use a little tune-up, but dribbling...
I'm going to tell you right now, fucking Chris Stanley could beat you one-on-one today.
No shot. He doesn't have the stamina. And
I'm not saying we're playing to 100.
Yeah, come on.
We're playing to 5.
Chris couldn't play to 3.
Bullshit. Oh, fucking crush.
Chris has no fucking game.
I'll tell you this. I don't need a Steph Curry masterclass.
I'm fucking embarrassed that you're taking this shit. Where's the money on the fucking barrelhead? What are you putting up, Chris?
I got $200.
Guess what? I'll fucking match it.
Game 5, game 3, game 1, I'm beating Chris.
Game 1?
What?
Are you saying the first person to won?
Yeah. First person shoots, they win.
Chris, let me see you just jump. Just do a jump.
Check these ups, Ron.
Yeah. Why are you joking? I'm fucking being serious here.
Yeah, Ron, brace for impact.
You know what? I'm going to
Fuck
half
you.
cover him. I'm putting up 100. I'm not putting up 200. You're going to smoke him.
He has no reach.
I just thought of something, too. The difference is Chris has no pride. He has not pride in fucking the fact that he could win.
No, me, I'm going out there, and I'm leaving it all on the court.
I remember, Earl, you took on Eastside Dave, and he fucking smoked you.
Yeah, he had a great outside shot.
An inside shot. You had no shot. You ought to fucking take a look at this goddamn masterclass. See if you can pick up a little bit. Where did you guys play that day?
We played at a place down on the. I think
Did you play at the
Chelsea.
pier?
I think Chelsea Piers. Yes.
All right, that's where you can get us a court, right?
Yeah, my coworker texted me a week ago and told me he set that game up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, we bring this up?
Yeah, like literally a week ago, he goes, it's cool to see Earl's back. I set up the one-on-one game between him and Eastside Dave.
In between this and the lunch, I went out to lunch today, right? And it was, do you ever see that place that looks like it's from Bewitched or like a 1960s place at 30 Rock?
Yeah.
It looks like you're in a Pan Am fucking terminal in 1962. So I get this fucking lunch, which was just like a Caesar salad and hummus. And I got the least amount of food I've ever got at one time. And it was fucking hilarious. Because I was just killing a little time before I got here. I was out with my chick. But I'm going, look at the size of this fucking thing. Hilarious. $24 for this. And it was the smallest little pieces of chicken. There was like 5 chicken bites on it. I feel like taking you guys there just so you can see how small the fucking lunch is. You get 2 items for $24. Hummus with no pita. You get some celery to fucking scoop it up, but you don't get a pita.
That's bullshit. If anyone's ordering hummus, there is pita that is supposed to come with it.
What are you, Miss Manners or something? How do you fucking know this? What makes you think that you will? Let me just try this.
Yeah.
Where is hummus from? What country?
I have no idea.
Thank you very much.
But if I've ever ordered
easy
hummus,
you don't know where it's fucking from.
That's fine.
That's like saying every hot dog should have fucking mustard. Not necessarily true.
There's nothing I get upset about more when you just getting like too little food. Like
obviously,
I know it's not a surprise coming.
Don't
from
set
me.
yourself up. You're just lining up for this big basketball match, and then you're going, you know what? I can never get full, no matter what's happening. You look good in this picture, though. You're a good-looking kid.
Thank you, Ron.
That's why I can't understand why you want to go around. Why did they put who farted on here? Vito and Chris do look alike. Pepper needs a haircut.
It's not me.
Is that your brother? Kitties and Chewies. The 2 best producers. Andrew WK has really let himself go. That's very nice, though.
Andrew WK is a handsome man.
Does the big one breed the little one, or which one is the male? Chris needs to shave. Hello, dog man. Vito's hair is retreating like Han Solo in episode 4. I don't even remember that.
Doesn't he just get frozen?
And I won't. And I need. Earl, of 50 states, which is the happiest?
I would probably say Hawaii.
Guess what, Earl? You're the smartest man in the world. Now, which is the saddest? Take your time. Just as easy as getting Hawaii.
I'm going to say Washington.
State?
Washington State.
Why? Because the grunge is so fucking depressing?
It rains a lot.
West Virginia.
West Virginia? Wow.
Yeah, it's up on the iBank. I don't know what the top 5 states are for happiness. But I'd be happy if I lived in Hawaii. Except for if I wanted a steak. They're like, would Spam be okay? Where's Florida for happiness?
Florida is ranked 29th.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's fucking hard to bring people in your own family. You get sad. Well, Chris, your story isn't surprising at all. Teens would rather text than talk.
Yeah. There's been a new study saying that they would much rather just text with each other than ever talk on the phone.
Yes, we know that. They don't even call each other.
No. And it's spread to adults, I think, at least in my generation, that because I always text you or really anyone before I ever call them.
But when you go, can I call you? It makes me feel like there's bad news.
Most of the time it is bad news. I mean, I'll be honest about that. Sometimes it's just questions and not bad news.
All right, tell me if you take this as racism. Just came out today. People are saying it's racist. Eric Trump said Bob Woodward made 3 extra shekels with his CNN appearance. Racist or not racist?
That is racist.
Earl, racist or not racist?
Shekels is that's very race baiting. That's racist.
I would say this. I would have said racist if Woodward was Jewish, but Bernstein was the Jewish guy.
I thought they were both Jews.
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. As he gets older, he seems Jewish, but I always remember him as it was like the Wasp and the Jew. Just think of the movie, Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman. Now, by the way, look at Bob Woodward on fucking TV right now with the droopy dog face and compare him to Robert Redford now. Robert Redford now was better looking than Woodward was in 1974. So both you guys, just saying because you bring up money and then use the Jewish nickname for money.
Yes,
that is anti-Semitic.
Also, like in internet memes, like in forums, shekels, the word gets thrown around as like a racist thing.
Well, you don't have to go to the fucking internet for that. That's always been around. It is what they call a dog whistle. A whistle so high that only a racist dog could hear it. Did you see Sam Morril on the Tonight Show the other night?
I did not.
Because he does the joke of he would love to meet a racist baby. That's the idea. That is hilarious.
But Woodward, yeah, considered a source. It's Donald Trump Jr.
Wasn't Donald Trump Jr. You're a fucking racist. It's Eric Trump.
Eric Trump. I
guess all white fucking people look the same to you, Earl. Does fucking Chris look exactly the same to Gene Wilder to you? Because the other day that you came up to him and he said, God, I fucking love you so much in those movies.
I was so insulted.
My bad.
What is it about you and white people? Why do you say that we smell like wet dogs?
I don't say you smell like dogs.
It is wet dogs.
Wet dogs, no.
Black people say that about white people. Even if you just put in Google right now, Chris, all right, and say, stop right there, white people Oh no. Smell like wet dogs. Look at that. Over and over. Look how many of those.
18 million. That exact phrase comes up.
18 million times.
18 million times.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the term in years, but
First of all, I've never let my dog get wet. I always have my butler take an umbrella and go running around with it.
You're a good dog owner.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thought you would have said the real answer would be that's because you're a white person. Now, Earl, what's your funk about wet dogs to begin with?
I'm assuming that wet dogs give off a weird smell and bad odor, I guess. But
I shampoo mine. I shampoo it with gold chips and diamonds.
I mean, it's a case where they get caught in the rain and then they come in and.
Why would it be caught in the rain, Earl?
You leave them in the backyard, they get caught in the rain, bring them in.
Now, I had this, I'm glad that you brought this up. I had this dream last night. I have this fucking dream. I'm at an Airbnb. No, I don't know why. The whole family's there. I go outside. It's a completely white beach with a ocean of just these waves were just exploding. I have a pool. It literally, the waves in the pool looked the same as the ocean. They were blue and green. It was the most, I'm fucking yelling, man. Guys, I don't know how your mom found this fucking Airbnb. It's unbelievable. I start to feel, I feel the heat on my body, but there's a cold rain hitting me. And I feel the rain hitting me and it feels fantastic. And then I wake up and I go, oh, fuck, man, I'm not at this beach. This beach, I just was ready to experience it. Then I think to myself, I never remember myself ever feeling like I was being hit by rain in a dream. And I could feel the cold rain running down my body.
Yeah, I've never felt that. I've never felt like, I don't think I've ever felt temperature in a dream.
Do you dream?
I dream, yeah.
What do you dream of?
Let's see. I had a dream of where I strangled an old man to death.
And you didn't feel the temperature?
I didn't feel
you
temperature.
You don't know what kind of a day it was? Why were you strangling the old man to death? By the way, look up the term strangle the old man to death, and that means jerking off. I think I'm going to go home and strangle the old man to death.
I had a dream that I was driving I was in a pink Cadillac going through the air. This was a recurring dream as a child.
But guess who guesses that they were Aretha Franklin in their dream?
I was in a pink Cadillac riding shotgun.
That's Earl's dream.
And who the person driving was Eric Stoltz, but Eric Stoltz from Mask. And this was a recurring dream I had as a kid. And as a kid, I took it as a nightmare. Now I'm like, why the fuck was I dreaming about that? But that was it freaked me out, and I had multiple times.
It may be the gayest dream that's ever.
It's ridiculous.
I think the pink Cadillac is your little asshole. All right, I got a break here. We'll be back in a pink Cadillac. It's the Bennington Show.
Let's dish to the gossip they're saying on the radio.
This week's Dish segment is presented by Dish. Get extra action with NFL Red Zone from NFL Network on Dish at no extra charge. Dish, tuned into you. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH or go to dish.com. And our special guest today on Dish is Michelle with 1L.
It's me! Ow!
Yay!
Triumphant return!
God, it's been a long time, too.
I know, you've had a baby since then.
Yes, well, grandbaby 7 weeks ago.
Oh, my goodness.
7 weeks ago. I didn't even realize it was 7.
She's a precious angel.
Oh,
Jesus.
my God. I got my favorite. Just when I got my favorite 2 pictures of her today, I got one extra that's even more my favorite.
The one
today.
after the ones you showed me earlier?
Yes. I just got one since where she's laughing at 7 weeks.
Yep, because she's a genius.
She seems to be a genius at laughing at stuff. Here, I want you to have some M&M peanuts.
Good.
Vito, how many cookies did you eat?
I had 3.
Chris?
I've had 4
cookies?
so far.
Who made the cookies?
These are cookies from Maureen. They look like gingerbread and frosting cookies.
Would you like one?
Wait, when you say and frosting, what is that, like a sidekick?
No, like the frosting on the
Cream
cookie.
cheese frosting.
I would not care for them because I'm allergic to ginger.
I have one anyway.
Okay,
I
so
wanna
let's see how this goes.
I want to see what happens.
I don't got an EpiPen.
I'll just use a regular pen.
Shoot me up.
I'll just write, this girl is sick.
Put it across my forehead, please.
Well, let's talk about the dish a little bit. I think Nikki Glazer going on Dancing with the Stars, and I predicted 2 things. She's going to win, and she's going to sleep with her dance partner.
Well, as somebody who knows somebody who works on that show, it is true. They all fuck each other like rabbits.
Yes.
I think some of them have been engaged. Like the dancers have been engaged to each other. There's been relationships.
Do you remember when, I'm sorry for interrupting, that was so rude. When Demi Moore's daughter, whose name is Rumor. Fucked that one guy, got a tattoo of the one guy on her arm. Then he said, "Oh, we're not really, and this is not a thing." And then she went and got her tattoo removed.
That was the only time I ever saw that show because I'm like, oh, I don't know Bruce Willis and Demi Moore had daughters. So, and I saw the commercial for it. I go, oh, I'm going to watch that. She was such a good little dancer. And then the whole family was there, even though they broke up. So I watched it a couple of times. And then I saw her come in here. That was the guy that she was with?
Yep. Yeah.
She's too good for that guy.
Totally.
That's the trophy?
Yeah, this is the trophy.
Or is that a lamp?
That is a trophy.
It looks like the thing that Trump had to put his fucking hands over in Saudi Arabia.
Didn't Shark Tank Herjavec date the person he danced with too?
They're married now.
They're married now. Oh.
Her name is Cheryl Burke. I want to say.
No. Cheryl Burke is the.
I said I want to say it.
Let's take a
I'm
look.
not saying that it is.
Robert Herjavec.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be another Herjavec?
I think
Herjavec seems to be the tough one.
There they are.
No, that's a divorce.
No, this is the girl he divorced. He had a wife, but this is the girl he left the wife for.
Kim Johnson, that's her name.
She's gorgeous.
She's a lovely human being.
And she's a real gal next door,
right? You'd be like, "Can I have some sugar, please?"
I'd be like, "Pour some sugar on me in the name of love." I forgot. Somebody said this before that they used to sing, "Pour some sugar on me in the neighborhood."
Which connects everything.
I love when somebody has a lyric mistake that they keep for decades. Nothing is funnier to me.
I had a good one, but I don't know. It was 2 of Hearts. Do you remember that's 2 of Hearts? 2 hearts that beat. I thought it was 2 pound farts.
No.
Well, I wasn't right. Yeah, it was Stacey Q. How awesome is that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. 2 pound farts?
2 pound farts.
How would that be a fucking song?
Why not? It was Montana.
Tell nobody, no baby, but this beloved.
This girl married Hershevek.
That was the first wife.
So you're agreeing? We all agreed Nikki Glazer's going to win this?
Yeah.
Why not?
And Nikki Glazer's going to end up marrying Hershevek?
Oh, poor Kim
Who else
Johnson.
is on her season? Do we know? Is there a big star?
There is one of my favorite people in the whole fucking world.
Okay.
Her name is Jo. She's from Facts of Life. And she might ride in on a motorcycle. And John Schneider, for fuck's sake. Cokehead, allegedly.
Is he, wait, is this all the people?
Yeah.
All right, let's go through one at a time, Chris.
All right, Ivana Lynch.
That's not one at a time. You got up further than that. You just passed it, right? Okay.
No, that's
Ivana Lynch is number 1. I don't know who she is.
She's a Harry Potter girl.
Never heard of it. Is that a good show?
I have to tell you one thing about this that I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
So she loved Harry Potter so much that she got to be on the movie by bugging the fuck out of J.K. Rowling.
Really?
Is that her last name? Rowling?
Yeah.
Fact. So that's one.
Well, let me say this. I have never seen that, but I took the BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay.
And the house that I would be Gryffindor.
That's a good one.
Thank God.
That's the honorable one you want to be in.
Yeah.
And they knew that just by what snacks I like.
Wow. And the Gryffindor just so lockstep on their snack choices.
And I had to pick what pair of shoes would you be wearing. All right, let's keep going.
Mary Lou Retton.
Look, this girl is a famous gymnast. She's 50 now, but still a world-class athlete. She's going to be tough to beat.
I would say maybe impossible. And I'd say she's a woman when you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
And someone named Tanash. I'm not sure who this is.
Tanashi.
Tanashi?
Thanks.
Does she have 69 on her forehead?
Her biggest hit was 2 On, it says.
Come on, Chris.
I don't know what 2 On is.
It's her big song.
It's a big song, Chris.
Look at that gigantic audience she's doing a show.
Yeah, it looks like she's fucking badass.
For Tinashe.
It's like Coachella. That's probably main stage at Coachella.
Tinashe.
All right, who we got here?
A dog. For the first time ever, guys.
Oh, I'm rooting for a dog. I like when dogs dance.
Danelle Umstead.
Yeah.
She's a blind skier who's won medals in 3 Paralympic
She's not
games.
blind. She's visually impaired.
Okay.
That's not blind.
I thought that was just like another term for blind.
First of all, she's cute as hell, although she probably doesn't know it since she's visually impaired. But I think she's the underdog. She's the one that we're going to be cheering for. So that's her blind leading the blind dog. The dog's also visually impaired.
The dog's going to dance too.
All right, who's this?
This is Bobby Bones. He's an American Idol mentor.
What are they fucking talking about?
Job?
There is no such thing as that.
He hosts a radio show.
It's pretty big, the radio show.
Yeah.
In that I've heard his name.
I've heard his name. I don't know the show.
But
I've heard the name
like
Bobby
the
Bones.
name.
I think I've heard the name Bobby Bones. That's in another context, not this guy, bro. It sounds like a movie character or some shit.
I think he looks like a real nerd, that guy. He wears glasses.
Chris Hardwick?
Chris Hardwick is innocent. He didn't rape anybody.
It wasn't really that he said rape.
Jesus is going to be on here?
This is Juan Pablo de Pache.
He can walk on water, so.
He played Jesus in AD, The Bible Continues.
Oh, that was the good one. I love
Bible
that book.
Continues? I thought that was the Mormons.
And he also was in Fuller House. He was Kim and Gibbler's estranged husband.
Oh, okay. I know him. I know him better from that than the Bible show.
And he was in the remake of Dallas.
Mike wants to make a correction for us.
A lot of hits.
Hey, guys. It was not John Schneider that had the Coke incident. It
I
was,
said allegedly.
Who was
it? He's Bo Duke. It was Luke Duke. Tom Wilcox, I think his name was. It was up here in Boston. He was doing a play somewhere and he got busted with some Coke.
And some chicks.
So it was Luke Duke, not Bo Duke.
Is the one on the left or the right? Right.
It's the one on the left.
The brown hair?
It was
the guy dancing?
Guy. It was the black-haired guy, not the good-looking blonde-haired guy.
No, it's the blonde-haired guy. It's Bo Duke. Bo Duke is the one.
It wasn't Bo.
Well, John.
He wasn't the one with the Coke problem.
Okay, yeah, he wasn't the one with the Coke problem. John Schneider's the one dancing. Tom Wopat was the one with the Coke
Well,
problem.
point and who's who, Chris? I don't
Right.
know.
That's John Schneider, not Tom Schneider.
Go get your appletinis ready.
I snorted over that one.
I like the guy who does coke. I think he's cool. And I think he's dependable.
I hate it when people are right. So fuck you, mister. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you
You
so
don't
much.
talk that way to your audience, do you?
Oh, yeah. I
Do you?
I'm not very polite. I really want to say thank you very much for letting me know that I was wrong.
All right, let's keep going.
Nikki Glazer.
Who's that?
She's a coworker of ours.
I think she's so goddamn funny.
Maybe that's going to be her dance talent. Making them roll. Everyone else has to dance because they're laughing so hard.
I would. I like it. All right, who else we got?
DeMarcus Ware.
Oh, he's going to do terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
unless
not-
they
he's
had
not-
the ballet dancing that they have in the
The
football.
wide receivers have this. This is a fucking linebacker. I mean, this is as good as somebody tries to steal the trophy and run away with it.
Okay.
All right, who we got?
Milo Manheim. He was Zed in the Disney Channel musical Zombies.
Yeah, but you know who his mommy is?
Who?
Cameron. Mannheim.
Wow.
Who was on that show about Boston Legal, maybe.
Huh? I don't know any of these people.
I believe that she appears to be a lesbian.
Here's what scares me here. 17. 17. He could bring it. He's got the energy.
Yeah.
And they know all that floss dance.
They
Floss dance, the shoot boy dance.
What's that?
The shoot boy dance.
What's that?
What's that mean?
That's the one where you're kicking out the leg and.
Oh, that sucks. It's the floss dance.
Yeah.
I see little kids doing it in my neighborhood. I'll fucking stop every time and crack up.
My kids do it. And
Do they?
They're so good at it.
Oh, good for them.
Atticus can do it faster than anyone.
Only little kids can pull it off. I never see even like a 12-year-old do it.
They shouldn't.
During the Jets Lions game, they showed like a 8-year-old girl in like a full cheerleader's costume just doing the floss jump while the Lions were down 40 points.
Oh, well, it was
She
that
shouldn't
why?
care at her age. You know what I mean? She'd be like, you know what? Let's dance this thing back up again.
The big problem with Milo Mannheim is that he can't fuck people because it's underage. So that's that. There goes Dancing with the Stars fucking everybody.
It's California. Maybe you can there. You know what I mean? That's the land of fruits and nuts.
Oh, I thought it was just make believe.
No, it's real. Go ahead.
Alexis Wren, she's a Sports Illustrated and Instagram model.
She's gonna be tough to beat. She's 21.
She's got a dancer's body.
And then, here's the thing, too. Look, there's her vagina right there.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. All right, so keep going.
Joe Emabeele. He's a reality TV personality. He was on The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise.
They call him Grocery Store Joe.
I like that name.
Grocery Store Joe.
Wonder why.
I think because he worked in a grocery
That's
store.
pretty cool.
I thought that was the guy from The Cosby Show.
We don't talk about that.
I mean, Jeffrey Owens.
Oh, I get it. No. Here we go.
And then Nancy McKeon. She was on The Facts of Life. She played Joe.
If I was her and it was a cha-cha, I'd dance to this song. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all.
You know that she's
have
gonna
the
be
facts
doing
of
it.
life.
Such a good song.
I hope that the fucking Facts of Life reunion, they all come to cheer her on.
They have to.
Yeah.
Although the one who's the blonde one, Blair, she loves Jesus. Super, super lover of Jesus.
What's not to love?
Did you see his hair in that last picture?
Yeah. Here's the thing about Jesus. He's great. He's nice to people.
Apparently there's a sequel to the Bible.
Yeah, it goes on.
She's going to come support Jesus and not support the girl from Facts of
Dude,
Life.
don't fucking be like that.
What?
It's not okay.
Did you never see that show, the way they were on each other's? Yeah, they were all different. Okay, Tootie was black, and yet they found a way to be together. When I think of this show's The Facts of Life, I think of Earl as our Tootie.
Can you roller skate?
I'm like Frankenstein on roller skates. That'll be horrible.
You're hired.
One time, Tootie freaked out because she wanted to go to a concert so fucking bad she started to lose her shit. And then the lady, I forget her name,
Mrs.
Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire said, "Look, girls, I'm taking her to the show." And they're like, even the way she's acting? And she's like, "Yeah, man, because she's melting down. I'll make sure, I hold on loosely," like 38 Special always said. The fact that she quoted 38 Special in that meant so much to me.
I've got the snorts today.
Yeah, you do. That was frightening.
Oh, good.
All right, Vito, that's all we could possibly talk about that fucking thing. Let's move along. Give us some juicy dish.
All right, juicy dish. Julie Chen leaving the talk, but she's staying on Big Brother. She's stepping down from the talk for now.
Now isn't leaving.
So that's why I just wanted to make it clear. She said she's not going to be there for a little while, but she said, "See you Thursday at the double eviction."
Yeah, because nobody could ask her a question.
When she said, "See you Thursday," did she mean see you next Thursday?
That's cut.
It was this Thursday. It was this Thursday, not next.
That's cut.
No. That's fine, though.
Not to me. That's the same as Gash. Now, here's the deal. Stop saying she's leaving. She's taking a little time off until the heat subsides.
She's staying on the show where, none of the house guests know that the lesbian...
Forget the house guests. The talk is what it's all about.
She's done
And they
with that
need
for now.
time to talk about Les Moonves.
And they trashed one of her co-hosts. Trashed Les Moonves. And they trashed one of her co-hosts. Trashed Les Moonves on the show the other day.
But you can't say anything good about him. He's busted.
No, you can't.
It's Dunzo.
Which one? Sarah? Shannon?
I
Sharon?
I don't know the exact one.
Sharon! Is she back with Ozzy?
They never, ever will leave each other.
Well, good. That's nice.
I thought they were still broken up.
But you're the
You
talk
see, yeah,
expert.
you
I didn't
see
know.
the guy-
I'm not the one who brought up Sharon Osbourne.
Well, you brought up the fucking talk, and that's obviously going to read into Sharon Osbourne. What have you found out from USA Today, Chris? What do you know?
It's only 49 cents a issue if you want to buy it. They're still together.
They're still together.
Yeah.
They celebrated their 36th anniversary.
Yeah.
When?
This year, July 4th.
of July.
Let's stay together.
Let's stay together.
Come on, let's move on then.
All right.
You got some bad fucking.
Let's stay together.
Come on, let's move on then.
All right.
You got some bad fucking
I got
stuff
some fucking
today.
Juicy,
It's my fault.
Some juicy
I'm
dish.
making it bad.
Madonna.
No, you're good. But we got to have nothing to push off of.
No, Madonna.
Wait, let's try to guess what it is about Madonna.
Okay.
She's 60. She likes the kick.
60 as fuck.
60 is the new 60.
She's adopting 5 more children just from Malaysia.
Why can't she adopt kids from Utah?
Because nobody from Utah wants to live with Madonna.
Oh, I would.
You're not from Utah.
Yeah. So what is it, Vito?
Madonna livid right now that Lady Gaga is getting all this Oscar buzz. She's so mad about it. She said that if Lady Gaga, or the source says that if Lady Gaga wins the Oscar for A Star Is Born.
Wait, let me guess. She's going to kill herself.
No, it's not that. It's not that serious.
She's going to kill Lady Gaga.
She's going to hang herself in her own closet.
There's no suicide. She's going to cancel her Oscar party that night and tell everybody to go fuck themselves.
How? Where's she have an Oscar party at?
All these celebrities have Oscar parties.
That's bullshit. You do very little work on this. Every time we lean into a story, you know nothing about it.
Because this is all the sources said. I don't know where.
I don't even like that it's a source. Here's what I would say. Not every fucking person has an Oscar. I'll give you an actor right now that's never thrown an Oscar party. Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hillbillies has never, and he ran Mammoth Pictures. He was a big Hollywood producer.
What? I will say this about Madonna. Give me a movie in which she deserved an Oscar, and I will say, okay, I get it. But if she thinks, and I'm gonna pull out my finger, if she thinks that she deserves an Oscar for Evita, she can kiss my ever-loving white ass. Book it. I don't know what that means.
All right, book it. We're going to book that ass kissing. Well, what was the first movie that she did? Was
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Adorable in that.
Adorable.
Yeah.
An Oscar winning? No.
But I was, I thought when she did that, when she was like thrift store Madonna, she was cute as shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that's the only thing that she's ever done movie-wise that I liked.
My mom watches Evita a lot. That's the only thing I know.
Okay, tell your mom I'm sorry.
Tell your mom I said, don't cry for me, Mrs. Khaleesi. You watch the movies.
But Madonna sucked in it.
Well, you know, a friend of mine used to go to Argentina all the time, and she goes, that Evita movie is dead on. Because those people sing for no apparent reason there.
You know how it is. You get your steak and you get your singing going.
Yeah, they love their steak.
They have really good steak.
All right. Are you ready for a new president? Because Oscar De La Hoya wants to become president of the United States, and he's very serious about this campaign.
Well, that's a knockout.
No, good. That's really good. I'm not going to take a jab at him. Chris, your turn. Oh my God. What is he, a horse? Did a horse just come out of his fucking staple? I guess not all horses talk, Mr. Ed. Like that dumb horse. How old are you, Chris?
We're gonna be here a while.
Yeah. Oh, he is not young. You want to stay? You want to stay even longer? How much do you weigh, Chris?
Don't.
Oh, whoa! Wait,
Yeah.
why am I laughing?
Well, you're laughing because you're a new thin girl.
I am old new thin girl.
Yeah.
You could have gone with the ropes.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Don't even help him. You know, I'm going to tell everybody how you lost weight, and I think it's wonderful. Stomach cancer.
It's true.
It's so great. Really tightens up the core. Vito, it seems like you don't care about these stories. This is not gossip. This is dullness.
That's gossip.
It's really bad, Vito. Okay. This might be Earl might be doing gossip for now.
No, Earl can't give you gossip like Candace
That's
Owens.
racist, dude.
Oh shit! He laid it down.
That's not racist. I mean, I wish I didn't say that name after I said.
Yeah. I come off racist.
All right, Candace Owens is suggesting that.
He's a story behind.
That the New York Times themselves wrote the anonymous op-ed piece on Trump. That it was an inside job.
Gossip. That's fucking Fox.
That's so cute.
Even the Fox News host that she was on the show with were like, I don't think that makes any sense, though. And she kept going with it.
No.
If I had a show on Fox, if I was doing the news over there, I'd come in every day to Fox on the Run. You finding it, Chris?
Yep.
I'd come in with Foxy Lady.
Wait till you hear this, though. It's radio friendly.
Okay.
And it really gets the young kids of the 70s going. You know, and that's what we're trying to do. Oh.
I wanna know your name, 'cause you don't look the same, the way you did before. Hey, you think you got a pretty face, but the rest of you is out of place. You looked alright before.
Question here. How's it gossip to say, let's just play a 45-year-old fucking glam rock song?
It's Dish.
It's a really good song.
Oh, hold on. Earl's crying. Earl, does this remind you of Scott Cell?
A little bit, yeah.
You know,
classic.
Earl is a legendary producer, and well, you produced the guy who went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, Scott, and I believe Carol Miller is also in the Rock and Roll Hall of
Why are
Fame.
you going to take it away from Scott, though? You know what I mean? Like, this is his time. Carol's alive. Every day she's above ground is a good day for her.
Yes, I produced Scott.
Move on. He doesn't care about Scott Muni.
I love that man to death.
Then neither do I.
Did you kill him?
No, I didn't kill him.
Well, you said to death.
Yeah. Did you go to his funeral?
Yes, I did. It was at St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Wow.
Remember what the minister said? He looks at the congregation and goes, don't anybody make a big deal about there's a black man here. I don't see color at all, Earl.
No, you don't.
Because I was hit in the head when I was a child. Let's fucking make this thing work today, Vito.
Gawker's coming back.
All right, easy. Don't scream at us.
I'm excited about Gawker coming back.
Well, look, here's the thing yesterday. You want me to teach you about radio?
Yeah.
So we go, oh, we got a special guest. Hide your eyes, all this. And we bring Juliet in, the baby. The baby's like crying and like, okay. Vito goes, what? And turns around and ends the bit. And I was thinking to myself, a radio guy would make that bit last as long as he possibly could. Asking questions, you know, down to the point where the people at home are going, it's the baby. It's the baby, you lucky dog. But you just ended the bit.
Yeah, I got excited and then I ruined it.
It's not, well, here's what I'm always trying to tell you. It's a beautiful blonde girl just went by. We should have played Fox on the Run.
Shit.
No sense in playing anything for these. Sorry.
She heard
but
us.
it's the show isn't for you. It's for the listener. Okay. Yeah. It's for John Q. listener. And they don't want to hear about Gawker coming back. Give us a big, juicy gossip story.
What about
something that's going to make us think about our own lives a little bit? Make us judge ourselves.
Okay.
Camille Cosby says that the sentencing judge can't be trusted.
You're bringing up a tragic situation. A rapist wife who keeps her hair tighter than any woman I've ever seen.
It's tight.
Yeah.
Do you think she sleeps with like toilet paper around it? So
I'll have to ask Earl.
Why would you need to ask Earl?
Because he's a...
I forgot what her hair looked like. It's tight, man.
Yeah.
That's some tight shit.
Yeah, that's insane.
She doesn't need toilet paper.
Now, lucky for her, if like her husband's like, could you do something different with your hair? She could say back to him, could you stop raping people then?
Here's a thought. No more Valium to women.
Yeah. How about this? You stop fucking giving women Quaaludes. Wait until they pass out, and then mounting them. Here's my prediction about Cosby, because I think your kink comes early in life, and I think that he either had a babysitter or an aunt who got drunk and was sleeping, and he was fucking around with them when he was a toddler. That's my belief.
I believe that not all, but most
black men.
No.
Okay. I jumped.
You
That's
jumped a little.
Yeah.
People who have raped or see now we're just. I don't see color neither.
Okay, good.
That I think that they were touched, like as a kid, like something happened to them to make them perpetuate it.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Maybe the sleeping woman accidentally touched him, and then he was like, "That's great."
Yeah, or just saying her, I don't know, tit pop out or her vagina, whatever. Yeah, accidentally on purpose. But
you know how those women do.
I do agree with you that something happened to everybody who does nutty shit. And that's why I can't judge Chris for a lot of stuff that he's done. I saw him physically molesting somebody in the comedy community.
Okay.
And here's the only thing that he had going for her. This woman liked him back while he was blackout drunk and putting his hands up her dress. She was like making out with him. Because I would have loved to went over and stopped her, but...
She was kissing back.
Yeah, she was kissing back. Did you see it too, Vito?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay.
I don't
Is this in Mexico?
remember
I
anything.
wish it was in Mexico.
It was not in Mexico.
What happened to you in Mexico? Is that where your face got so red?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It looks like you had a sunburn, but you thought that you had high blood pressure.
Yeah, I got like really worried when you said, "Look how red your face is."
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was over.
It looks great.
Oh, thanks.
You have color and your hair is back.
What was wrong with my hair?
Nothing.
Yeah,
it was great. It was good.
It was bad.
It was so fucking
Look like, yeah.
I was embarrassed.
I go like this, Chris, look at a dead beaver just got on your head. I had a stick to hit it with. And he goes, what are you talking about? I just fucking shampooed my hair.
It's actually clean, he said.
Yeah. When's the last time that you said you really felt like you cleaned yourself?
3, 4 weeks ago.
He just goes...
3, 4
What
weeks
is
ago?
going on with this new tick that you have?
I don't know. This is new.
And by new tick, I mean deer tick.
Oh, it's Lyme's disease.
Yeah, he does. He not only has Lyme's disease, he has Lemon's disease next to it. It's a citrusy kick of a disease.
When he gets orange, look out. He's dead.
Delicious.
And then a big-ass grapefruit for himself.
I love a good grapefruit.
Yeah.
Are you okay, though? Seriously?
I think I am.
Okay.
Who are you talking to?
No one. I'm just hoping that I'm okay.
Remember when you ate all my M&Ms?
Yeah, I do. I feel
There's a
bad.
lot more. Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch them.
Eat a cookie then. Another cookie.
Okay.
Don't get stuff
Let's
on
see if
your
you
mustache.
Let's just see if you can swallow it in one.
I know the Heimlich. He just died. He just. Oh shit.
Mm.
Poor guy.
Just spray some of your fucking lime in your mouth. All right, all your news blows,
it
dude.
doesn't. It's
You can't say no, it doesn't when we're the people that have to use it as jumping off point. And I'll end your reign when I see you being lazy, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing. I have no problem going, I gave you something nice and now I'm taking it back away. Just the way Santa does. when he takes back his stuff. By the way, have any of you guys been over to 30 Rock?
I've not.
Guess what is coming there in time for this Christmas season?
The tree's already back?
F.A.O. Schwartz is moving into 30 Rock.
Oh, wow.
Just saw it today. Look, there's one clap.
I'm excited by that. I thought you were going to say F. Murray Abraham, and I got way
I
excited than I
would
should.
fucking be so excited about that.
I would go and make him do Amadeus shit all day long.
Wait, was he the guy who did Rock Me Amadeus? Because that fucking song was my prom theme.
It's so good.
And also my wedding song. Come on, Vito, give us something we can fucking sink our teeth into.
All right,
okay?
Le'Veon Bell, Steelers fans.
Oh my God. Really? What is this? Fucking Steelers Central?
No, it's not Steelers Central, but Steelers fans are upset
You
because...
know what that reminds me of, right?
What?
Terry Bradshaw came in here today and you guys didn't get a signed ball.
We fucked up on that.
He came in here?
Yes. He was in here when I walked in. I'm like, hey guys, did you get a signed ball for our listeners? And Chris goes like this, no, we didn't look that far ahead. I go, what do you mean look far ahead? He's here now.
Well, how... You guys didn't have him, right?
No, we turned him down.
Okay, I didn't mean to ask that.
Yeah.
I just was like, it wasn't...
We didn't want him. Didn't think he was interesting enough to be on our show. Don't want to talk about the 1976 fucking disappointment.
Still mad?
Yeah. No, I don't give a fuck anything about the Steelers. I will say this. The Immaculate Reception didn't happen. Oakland should have won all the way that year. O-Town Booty, that's my favorite fucking team. So what do you want to bring up about Steeler Nation?
All right, Le'Veon Bell been holding out with his contract. He refused to go to training camp, didn't go to the first game, hasn't been going to practice because he wants more money, wants to be released from his contract. Steelers fans are pissed because he was seen out partying in Miami all weekend.
Why can't he party? He's not fucking working anymore. He's not a Steeler.
It's one thing to hold out your money and like just not play, but to go just out and spend money and go all crazy, it's a little disrespectful.
Why? He better know his place.
No, I did
Is
not
that what
say
you're
no.
fucking saying?
Oh my God,
I didn't know his place.
You hear that, Earl?
Earl, I didn't say that.
Come on, man.
Earl, he's not playing for the team. He's got every right to go out and party. All right?
He's got the cash, right?
He's 3 times 7 and white. He's got every right to go wherever he wants.
If he needs the money so badly, why is he out partying?
Who said he needs the money so badly? He feels like he's worth more than they're paying. He probably doesn't want to play for that shit team that tied fucking the Browns without him.
Oh my God, they tied.
Mm-hmm. Tied the worst team in the history of fucking football. Why? Because this fucking guy'd rather go out and have some nice fucking cocaine than get his head hurt.
To be fair, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I saved my best story for last.
You know what he wrote? I got an autograph from him. You know what he wrote him there?
What?
Too cute to be forgotten. Wasn't that sweet of him, though?
That was really nice.
You gotta have more stories than this, Vito.
This is my I got one other one that's a sports related one that I didn't think would grab you guys that much. The tennis umpire.
Yeah, Carlos.
He broke his silence. And
What did he say?
He said,
Does that mean he farted when you break your silence?
He spoke.
It was a 2-pound fart.
So he says the umpire and refereeing community has had his back 100%. And he's received hundreds of messages of support from family members and former players.
Oh, guess what? My family loves me. Your family loves you. Chris doesn't have a family.
Got nothing.
He told a Portuguese newspaper that he's fine given the circumstances. It's a delicate situation, but a la carte arbitration does not exist. Don't worry about me.
He actually said this. Well, she knows I hate black women.
Who do you think did that cartoon?
Was this completely racist, Earl, or misogynistic?
I believe a little bit of both.
Yeah, me too. Everybody wants to keep fucking blacks down. Everybody wants to keep women's down. So when it's a black woman, it's fucking 2 for 1 shot. There is not a star in any league who gets treated the way that they are treating. And this also gets to me. People who don't follow tennis feel like they should have an opinion of this.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's the biggest star they've had in what, like 20, 30 years?
20, 30 years? How about all fucking time, you racist?
I just mean...
What, you say Navratilova is fucking better than her? No way.
I'm just saying it's crazy how big she is.
You mean thick?
No, I think
fat shaming.
I'm not fat shaming, but she's very attractive. She's thick in a great way.
Hey, guess what? How about you not treat a woman like a piece of meat and treat her like the athlete that she is?
No, but you guys said that I was calling her like big. And
she's great.
Why can't you view her as an athlete? That's the way I view her.
She's one of the world's
I don't
greatest
see
athletes.
sexist. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm with at any given time.
Was it the same thing that hit your head?
The only thing I want to date is elderly transgender people. Do you have one?
I don't have any of those. Oh, I have one.
Who?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Why would you even see her as transgender? Why can't you just see her as a woman? She's a woman now.
But it's fair to
hear
say.
her war.
Wait. Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She got rid of the nuts. Yeah. According to her, she said it once offhandedly. I haven't seen any pictures. I would love to, though.
I don't know that I'd want to.
I would say this when it comes to her. I didn't even like Bruce Jenner. So I'm not being anti-T when I say I don't like Caitlyn. Because I already didn't like her before. When she had them nuts.
Sweet nuts. I did not like Wheaties. Just, I'm letting you know that now. So if that was a Christmas present you guys were thinking about, I'm not a fan of that cereal.
I've never had more than a spoonful of Wheaties, which I just spit out after.
Thank you.
Yeah. Out of all the things, it may be the worst cereal ever.
I've never seen it in a store.
Is it gone? That's
there.
I've never seen it.
You know why? Because all you get is government cheese.
Get more than government cheese. Well,
can you explain to him to just not say no and repeat the line is a fucking joke killer. Move on to another joke.
Well,
but don't say no. I don't do that.
I have another dish. This is my last dish
ever.
I don't think ever. Kendall,
you just fucking did what I told you.
I realized that. That's why I stopped the word in between. So Kendall Jenner.
Oh my God!
No, but
you're back to the Jenner family. You're back to the fucking Jenner
this
family.
This is breaking news.
Breaking news.
They just found some nude shots of her running around the beach in France
With who?
by herself.
Why didn't you open with that, bro? What is it on her Instagram?
No, some TM. I think one of the gossip rags got the photos. She's saying she didn't release
Chris,
them.
You want me to throw this up and try to catch it in your mouth?
I could try. I mean, I shouldn't
Don't
be
hurt.
eating them.
What about your teeth?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was right to his nuts.
See? Wait,
They were
Beat me with it.
Now Kendall is the model.
Yeah, Kendall's that one. The one that gets.
She's the biggest model in the world.
She's
Yeah.
the Pepsi one.
Let's take a look.
This is okay. These are her. This is.
What? You had the pictures a second ago.
No, this is something different.
This
Than
is
this?
fun nudes.
You just.
Oh my God! This website. This website.
You're gonna fucking. You better take that down or shut the fucking things. You're gonna get us all busted.
I'm gonna
You
get
had the
busted.
pictures.
Here it is. Here it is.
That's what you had a million times. All right, for her act like she's not. Why does she have her legs crossed like that? That's not an accident. Hey, go back up. She could not look more like Bruce Jenner than she does right there. This looks like Bruce Jenner at the 1976 Olympics. All right, let's go.
You know, I never thought about it. I bet she can run really well.
Yeah, that's very Bruce Jenner.
Right?
And what beach is this?
What boobs are those?
I think Jones.
Those are like guys. Chris Stanley nailed a fucking joke.
There you go.
I feel like I'm in Earth 2 right now.
open long enough.
This is so exciting.
Why is she touching her ha?
She's cupping it.
I like that she's laughing during it though.
Let's feel this.
She's so happy
guys.
with it.
I never noticed that till she was naked how much she looks like Bruce Jenner.
Well, oh my God, I'm naked? That's what her face says.
God, what a giant mouth she has, huh?
Mm-hmm. She's so.
She's a bowl there.
Wait, is she having sex on the beach?
It's a horse
she's
is
writing
making her come.
something.
Yeah. There.
Thanks, Chris, for showing us where the vagina is. Yeah, look at her body. It looks exactly like Bruce Jenner's body.
I can't believe it.
That's so crazy.
Did we put this up on the iBang?
No, this just happened like 5 minutes ago. I found it again.
Then why wouldn't you link it in 5 minutes?
It was during this. I got a notification on my phone.
Send it so we can link it. That way you're not a what?
I don't know.
You got to know in this business, son. You can't. I don't know is not an answer. All right. You got a chance to meet Chewbacca today. You know why Chewbacca is fucking great? He never let down Harrison Ford.
Never.
He also doesn't speak English.
He speaks Wookiee, though. That's good enough.
Okay.
Harrison understands him.
Yeah, that is true. Harrison's the one that's bilingual.
They cover that in the new Solo movie.
That he's bilingual?
They cover that they go through a whole thing where they go, like, I speak Wookiee. I used to have some Wookiee friends. Something like that.
Is this is when they're young, though?
Yeah, this is the prequel, the Solo movie.
And so then...
Is it on TV yet?
I think soon.
The 14th, it said it releases on the 14th on digital. So
right, so
should be.
Doesn't matter.
Today's the 12th.
2 days away.
Because yesterday was what? 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
The day that you did such an inappropriate opening to our show with.
I thought I avoiding
9/11 is not honoring.
I didn't want to. I felt weird yelling about 9/11 in the
first
opening.
thing he wanted to do was scream, "Jet fuel can't melt steel beams."
Oh,
What happened? What just happened? I gotta go. You guys, I'm not a part of this.
You have every right to get out of here. Skedaddle while the fucking times are good. While the good times roll. Well, this was a nightmare. I'm sorry to bring you in.
This was one of my favorite.
Are you freezing?
Are you kidding me? I wore my sweater. I knew that I'd be cold.
We got to warm that room up for our guests.
I'm going to make it warm right now.
No, I
We're
honestly
saying
am
goodbye
fine.
to her right now.
Oh, okay.
But I am going to run a marathon, and I hope you support me.
What time do your kids get home from school?
They get home when I pick them up because they are not latchkey kids like I was. So don't try to come to my house, everybody, and steal them. They are at Sitters and the Y. Oh, shit, I just told them where they were.
The Y.
So I get them when I leave here.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah. Yeah, they're...
You were a latchkey kid?
Yeah. Who wasn't?
Me. My parents really loved me.
Oh, okay, cool.
My mom was a stay-at-home mother.
Oh, I see. Someone was loved.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Here comes Precious. Precious is home with his papers.
How did Precious do today?
Oh, mother. I would only call my mom mother, dear.
And did you get cookies every day?
Mhm.
Fuck you. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Ron.
I did.
Not fair.
She goes, here's something baked for you, fresh baked.
She loved
I didn't get a lot of baked cookies, but I got a lot of cookie dough. Seemed like a treat,
better.
but I realized
Was your mom in a hurry?
I think it was just because it was easier than cooking.
Yes, it is easier and it's worse for you. That's why you've got all these fucking odd things running around your guts right now, laying eggs. You guys worried about this Carolina thing that's coming in, this storm flow?
I'm going to a wedding on the shore of New Jersey
Oh, boy.
on Saturday.
Mhm.
And my husband was going to see Jawbreaker. Is that a band? I believe so.
Mm.
At the Pony.
Stone Pony.
That one. So they canceled that. So
Really?
my husband and I were going to a wedding in Asbury Park. And then he was going to leave the wedding and go to see that show. But
Mhm.
now they canceled it, so he's stuck at the wedding.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in Philly on Saturday. What's the weather supposed to be like there, Chris?
As of right now, I just saw rainy, but everything other than that,
It's raining in Georgia. That's what I'm going to come out to. It's like or I'll come out to Rock Me Like a Hurricane. Like, ah. But me and Big J will be there at some theater together.
Yeah, I saw that. That's so exciting.
It is for Jay. I don't know about for me, though.
Yeah.
this is the Keystone Comic Con in Philly at the Pennsylvania Convention
We have
Center.
no more tickets for anybody.
Got it.
You have
Don't
to be
come.
a card holder. And the iBang is complaining to me that you won't give away the last thing because, that was supposed to be your deal. I said we definitely would tomorrow then.
Okay.
Since you wouldn't do it today. But that's 2 days in a row, huh?
Yeah, I missed it. Yeah.
Why don't you give it to one of the other guys?
Thought I would take responsibility over it.
But you just said you didn't do it for 2 days.
No, I didn't. No. So I dropped the ball on that.
Why don't you give it to Earl now? Let Earl read it.
I'll give it to Earl.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me. You know I love it here.
Well, you're always welcome. And I'm always welcome to come into your show, too.
Nope. No. But
just drop in anytime I want.
Anytime, but don't.
Mm-hmm.
Please come not.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thanks that this is a one-way street between the two of us.
I love you guys.
You got something you wanted to read?
This week's Dish segment is presented by Dish. Switch to Dish to get every major D1 college football game. Dish, tuned into you. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH or go to dish.com.
Did you open the show with that today?
Yeah, I did. I had 2 different ones. Great.
Good job for your last dish. We'll be right back. Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Sam Morril's in studio. Amy Schumer presents Sam Morril, Positive Influence, premieres Friday, September 14th at 11 p.m. on Comedy Central, and an encore is Sunday, September 16th at 11:30 p.m. on Comedy Central.
And you just had a big Tonight Show appearance the other night, which was great.
And I didn't weigh in on the Me Too movement, so they let me come on, which is pretty cool. Can't believe that we get the Norm thing up here. I couldn't believe it when I heard about it yesterday. I was actually a little, I'm always psyched about who the guests are going to be when you do a late night set. Mm-hmm. And I saw Norm was on the next night, and I was like, I kind of wish I was on with Norm.
Yeah, who did you get on your show?
I mean, they were good people. I had Cory Booker on, who was awesome. He hung with my family. Which was, my mom is such a liberal. It was like, I could she's like, thank you for all you're doing. I'm like, all right, Mom, take it down a notch.
But you're comfortable enough to have your mom hanging out backstage. And
well, I don't really have a choice, you know? It was just like, we're coming. I'm like, all right. Yeah.
But is that like, look, what did I tell you guys when I started comedy? Now you get it?
It is funny. Yeah, like Fallon came in my green room and I had too many people in there. I could tell he would have hung more if I didn't have. He's like, I don't give a shit about the,
Yeah.
But he's super gracious and nice, and now, I can't believe that they're. It's one thing to say, to cancel an appearance, but you're banning him.
Well, I mean, I think the way that he was banned, because he wasn't canceled because of what we got Robert De Niro coming in or something. It was like, hey, you said something. There's too much heat. Because Norm only does that show every few years. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a lot of projects going.
Well, he's got the new Netflix late night
that's
show,
why.
Which looks excellent, and it's also I don't know, man. I feel like it's one thing to say something that's wrong to some people or that might be divisive, but you're like, isn't that what kind of comedy's about? He's not a bad person. He's not condoning what they did.
Right.
He's saying they're my friends. And it's probably hard for him in some way. So to ban someone, are we getting that fucking vanilla as a society that someone can't just say something different? He's not a bad person.
I would agree with you 100%, because I will tell you this, because I have some friends that later in life turn somewhat controversial. I always take shit whenever I go and do their show.
Totally.
And I go like this. But it's my friend. You know what I mean? You're bringing up all the other kind of stuff that are political stuff or whatever.
Look, we can only imagine where Luis Gomez is going to be in
exactly.
a few years.
That's the perfect thing. Luis is eventually going to do something crazy. But what are you going to do?
There's going to be a curb stomping of some sort.
Yes.
And we're going to have to be like, look, he wanted me on his podcast.
Yeah. But you're like, but I've known this guy for years. He's a buddy of mine. I think when you have long-term buddies, it's the same as if you have family. It's like beyond how
I think words should not be punished similarly to actions.
Right.
And that's kind of where we are as a country, it feels like someone says something bad and you're like, well, that I don't even know if it's I mean, I don't agree. I think what Louis did is fucked up, and I think what Roseanne did is fucked up, but also, I think about the Me Too thing a lot, and I think Michael Ian Black got criticized pretty harshly for his tweet about how for this movement to really take shape, there needs to be a path to redemption. And it's like, well, is that a crazy thing to say? Well, murderers get second chances.
There's no one really leading this other than the mob. You know what I mean? Like it's so that's the thing. Like legal is how we handle stuff in this country.
Right.
And when a certain amount of time goes by, I'm sorry, there's not going to be the kind of punishment. So what happens? Do we shun? Do we do this? And how long does that last? No, we're not all pulled together on these things at all.
And also, isn't one of the reasons we love Norm is because he's a contrarian? I mean, great comics are contrarians. And I think Chappelle really got, a lot of shit for his bit where he kind of trashed the victim. But what I say to that is, great comics we live in this echo chamber where everyone says the exact same thing. Go on Twitter. It's the exact same fucking tweet all day. And then maybe Chappelle sees this stuff and is like, let me try to go the other way with it.
You know what I said to Norm? Get in the middle of the pack and just agree with any pack and just keep moving until they leave you alone. Let someone else take the fucking heat.
Well, that's the thing with the Tonight Show too. Is like people, I got some tweets. I was on Monday, and I got some tweets that are like, he's a racist, and I'm like, Cory Booker came to my green room after my set. I'm a racist.
What came up that you said something racist?
I have a joke about I had two jokes, and one part of the joke, this to me is like that crowd to me, where they don't really get the subtleties of a joke that maybe a Conan crowd would get. Where I had a joke where I talk about, you ever get cut off by a reckless driver and you catch up with them to see what they look like. It doesn't matter what race or what gender. Every time I see what they look like, I'm always like, I knew it. And I do a whole thing like, could be a white guy, it could just be a white guy. I'm like, classic white dude, takes what he wants, contributes nothing to society.
Right.
And then I say, I'm only going to do the example for white people, which to me is the funniest part of the joke. That didn't hit at all. The other parts hit.
Yeah.
And then I do a joke about, I wonder if racism is, which by the way, the Booker pushed me to do. I didn't want to do this joke, but he's like, you got to do it. And it didn't even hit that hard. I said, there should be, I'm like, I wonder if racism must be a choice. Otherwise you would meet racist babies, which would be great. Just a teeny tiny baby. What were his first words? We'd rather not say. And they were taken out of context. So that was the joke. Yeah. And they were like, he's racist. And I'm like, that's this most silly take on racism ever. And is that how real racism? I mean, people just throw words out now without any thought. It sucks to be called a racist. It sucks to be called, what would happen to Norm here. Maybe the Tonight Show is not the right audience for him. His shit is so nuanced and he's so comedy sophisticated that like maybe he should be on other shows. And it's a bummer to see it happen because it just says so much about the way comedy is going to me, where it's like, you have to say the popular thing. And that's not, comics are supposed to be, I won't say rebels, but I'll say we should say the things. I don't think we live in an echo chamber. I don't think comedy should be that as well. And
yet, if you try to make the example of that, you could wreck a career. You could, well,
he won't. His career won't be wrecked. I don't think Netflix is turning on him, but it's still.
We don't know. I mean, they obviously could. As far as we know now, it's fine. Netflix is never.
But Netflix is not NBC.
They have not turned on anybody yet. But I know there was 100,000 people who signed a petition that said if this one comic didn't put
100,000 people.
Yes.
About Norm.
No, this was about a different comic.
Oh, wow.
And I don't want to even, say, I'll tell you off the air who it is. But, and I'm like, that starts to be a lot of people when it's 100,000. I don't even know what it's up to now, but it was 100,000 a couple weeks ago.
Comedy's so funny. I'm looking at the thing right now. Tonight Show bans Norm Macdonald just to the right. Nikki Glazer's on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
It really, it's a lot of different energies going on.
Yeah, there is. All right. Well, I actually brought this up to you when I saw you the other night, and you were running that at the Underground. I go, oh, they're going to let you say cocaine on the show because
I guess the reasoning was I didn't do the cocaine, but they said I did say I smoked a blunt. And even that for Fallon, I'm like, wow.
But to say I'm with a friend who had cocaine, you know what I mean? He ain't off doing cocaine by himself.
Yeah.
No one gives, you know what I mean? If you hang with a guy who does cocaine, you're okay about cocaine.
I didn't know he had it, was the truth. Yeah. I've never done cocaine.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
I never, but like I was smoking and I just met these guys. So that was the whole thing. But that's to me. I remember Jeselnik had a whole bit about how on the Tonight Show, or maybe it was when it was just Jimmy Fallon. Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, he had a bit where he said about Asians, something about like the punchline was like a laundromat, and they were like, that's too offensive, so we changed it to building a railroad, and that was allowed. And I was like, wow, that's far more offensive.
It's way more offensive, and they shot all those people when the railroad was done. Now, I had told the New York,
and that's how the laundromat started.
I told the New York Comedy Festival that I would do something about this very topic: is can comedy survive this thing that it's a definite shift in the way people behave. And here's why comedy is not. They're not taking the high ground. I don't know whether you saw this thing on the New Yorker Festival, but Steve Bannon, they booked Steve Bannon, and it was all the comics who said, we won't come.
Well, Mulaney did it, and then everyone followed suit. I think Mulaney is kind of like the...
Mulaney, Apatow, Patton, Jimmy Fallon.
Right.
You know, and they broke and said, okay.
Well, Jimmy's interesting because he's not political at all, really. He's not, and it's like, look, I don't subscribe to think that everyone has to be political. It's kind of boring when every late night host is just a white dude with the exact same politics. You know, you're like, all right, whatever. But for this thing with Bannon, I think Bannon's terrible, obviously. I thought that, to me, it was just a weird booking. And I understood where Mulaney was coming from. And I guess it's a weird thing where I don't know what I would do in that situation.
You are certainly not pro free speech. If this guy if you can't have your New Yorker guy, because they weren't going to put him over.
Right.
They were going to go head to head the way adults do.
Sure.
When they disagreed. And this is a guy who helped get him into the White House. And by the way, a guy who did mornings here for like a year or so at Sirius XM. So, I mean, you're not talking about a dangerous guy. You're talking about a guy that you disagree with, and you can point out to him, here's the places that we disagree. And that can be very interesting for adults to be part of that. And when people who depend on free speech jump off, it makes it very, very easy that the next time a comic says something.
Well, that's the thing. Is he still a part of the festival? Or do they?
No.
Okay. My thing with that is that they didn't say unbook him. They said, I just don't want to be a part of it. I think there's a difference, where you are banned from a show. The Tonight Show is a huge audience. Who gives a shit about the New Yorker Festival? I mean, I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, I do.
Really?
I fucking care about it. It's been a part of New York history for many, many years, and it's been, fairly on the intellectual side of things.
Well, maybe that was the objection, is that this is a guy who, I think I read Mulaney's thing where he's like, this is not, I forgot the examples he gave, but I think it was James Baldwin and William Buckley.
Why not? Why
not?
Isn't it that? You know what I mean? This is
I guess
as
it's
far as we
debatable.
are today. We also aren't running fucking great movies or great plays. It's the fucking less than intellectual fucking society right now, and this would be a way to get it. But by the way, people were not happy about Buckley and Baldwin in those days. People were pissed.
But don't you think, I don't know, I think there's I've totally just spaced. I'm very hungover. I guess I'm of the opinion that you should maybe have these people on and expose what you dislike about them. I mean, that being said, when Milo Yiannopoulos, a guy like that gets his 15 minutes, I thought that guy kind of dried up because there wasn't a lot of substance there. Give Bannon the opportunity, expose what you dislike about him.
That's
I
what
hear what you're
happens.
saying. I think there's a fair point. And I think when the person is fraudulent, and I think that is how you expose them, is by showing that.
I honestly think, and most of these comedians I'm bringing up, I'm obviously fans of, but I think that it makes it harder to do the, hey, free speech is comedy thing when you find a guy that you don't agree with and you jump out. This is the time to show that you believe in free speech.
I agree with you to an extent, and here's where I agree. I agree that, you're making good points, absolutely. But there's also people, like, free speech is a privilege. Like, it is. It really is. I mean, not every place and not every time has had it. And there are people who use the excuse of free speech to just say horrible shit. I mean, there's people who get fired for going on racist tirades on, like, the Long Island Railroad saying the N-word, and they're like, that's my free speech. And you're like... Well, it's also hate speech. You know what I mean? So,
well, first of all, that's different.
It is different, but I'm saying there are people who are using that as a crux when it's not suitable.
But it also, free speech itself, of course, is a right. It's not a privilege. It's a right. But it doesn't mean that corporations can't fire you or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we do have a right to even hate speech in this, and that's why the Nazis used to be able to march in Illinois.
But what do you make of like a Charlottesville type situation?
Well, Charlottesville, they did cross the line where it got fucking physical, and I think that the police should have been there early on to keep people separated. I mean, you can't be violent with it, but you can't act like you're a comedian and hey, we are the ones who have rights to talk and all, and then back out
Of
on
course.
it as soon as somebody you disagree with.
I also think the internet has intensified this hatred in
No
people
doubt.
where they feel far more comfortable just saying really, really toxic shit. I mean, that's a line I say in my special is that, the message board is like, it's sad meets mean. That's like where it comes
Right.
together. And it's like, I think it is made like, not just with like evil people like terrorists, it's where they've, found connections and, the incels and people like that, but also people like, who are bigots, who have found like a community. And then when they come together, that does give them like a sense of ease. So we're going to a different territory.
No. I'll stay with that because at the same time is why it's easier to be a gay kid in America now because you can find.
Of course.
Now,
so it works both ways.
No, but also, do you realize how many people who think the internet is terrible? They help gay kids get together. You know what I mean? Like, so that thing that we think is, this is progressive, other people see as destructive.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's like, dating sites and racists link up in similar ways.
Yeah, exactly. It is 100%.
It's like dating sites. See, I like the first half of 12 Years a Slave. That's what I mean.
Amy Schumer presents Sam Morril, Positive Influence, premieres Friday, September 14th at 11 p.m. on Comedy Central. It encores Sunday, September 16th at 11:30 p.m.
And I should also say, I'm not disagreeing with what you said about Steve Bannon. I think it's an interesting food for thought where you're like, this is the weirdest. I think the internet has made this the weirdest time for what is okay to say, what is okay to do. And the way people drop out now, it's like immediate. It's like almost like you want those likes. And the way Mulaney dropped out, he kind of set that tone. And then Apatow jumps in, everyone else follows suit.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it feels good to be a part of something.
Right.
So I think when you get that instant endorphin rush, it is unlike any time, because say this happened 20 years ago, it would have gone down differently. It would have been like in the paper the next day or something,
It would have taken a little time. But by the way, that is how mob rules. You know what I mean? Like that definitely is the way things get amped up in the comments section.
The mob is, I talk about this book all the time called So You've Been Publicly Shamed by John Ronson, because it's like the perfect book for our time, where he talks about these. I mean, there's like the girl who did like, I think it was the middle finger, the thumbs down in front of the troops thing. And people just tried to ruin her life. Or the really popular one, the girl who made the AIDS joke, like, I'm going to Africa, just kidding, I'm white. And then her plane lands and it's like, my job's lost. Her friends are like, what the fuck? It goes viral.
Yeah.
And there is a good, like, the self-righteousness of these people on the internet who are like, I want to ruin this person. It's so fucking grotesque. It really is like the worst possible characteristic, and we all have it on some level. We all have that like smug, like, I would never do that. Well, guess what? We all have shit. We all have skeletons in our closet. Some obviously much worse than others. But when you see people just like the way they gleefully just jump in on the retweet, like, ugh, like you could just feel them patting themselves on the back. It's so fucking gross.
Yeah. It is, and I agree. I don't think that we've figured this thing out yet. Somebody told me that the next generation will go, look back at this time and go, oh, those assholes didn't even know how to use social media back then. And see, for me, it's easier because I just never go on it. I just don't, because I didn't grow up with it, or it happened when I was in college. I just don't give a fuck.
I also just believe, like, going back to Norm, no good comedy has ever been walking on eggshells. I think when people tell me, like, there's, like, the PC police, I'm one of the comics that really doesn't complain about that much anymore, because I also just feel like, well, they're not going to be a fan of mine, so who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, I did a show in Syracuse a couple weeks ago. This woman comes up to me after the show, and she goes, I'm not a violent person, but I want to punch you in the throat right. Sound violent. You should work on that.
This seems a little bit.
But you don't sound like a pacifist. But I just did a chunk on the Me Too movement, which is a pretty tame take. All my takes are pretty down the middle, where I'm like, I praise the movement. I say it's a great movement, but I say there's some flaws, and you can't even say that. You can't even, you know what I mean? Like, so there's two sides of it. It's like there's people that call, like, you know, Black Lives Matter a criminal organization, and you're like, all right, take it down a notch.
Yeah.
You know? But then those people who are, all movements have flaws. That's not a crazy thing to say, but the way what Norm said about, you know, he's defending his friends and you're banned. What I tweeted something the other day that said, show me a comedian who doesn't have offensive tweets, and then I'll be worried.
Well, I will tell you this, people they idolize Lenny Bruce because he got arrested for what he said. But now these comedians are like, oh my God, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, this is the time to step up. And
That's a great point.
You know?
Because you know why? Because the liberals and the conservatives have now, at least in the comedy world, swapped.
I would agree with that.
I would say in that way, you know, I'd say the crowds that get much more offended now are the liberal crowds. And it used to be, you know, there's still ways that people poke. I mean, when you go after like the Catholic Church and stuff, that still riles up the right, I think. But for most stuff, the right, when I do the road a lot and I do red states, blue states, everything, I want to be funny in every market. And I find that the left has been much more triggered for like the last 10 years, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
And
I identify as a more liberal person for sure, but I do the road and I'm like, man, it's easier to do well in like Kentucky than it is in like 30 minutes outside Manhattan. It's crazy. It's a weird time.
I think if you even mention Trump on stage now, it tightens up the room. They don't even know. If you just go, well, President Trump, and pause, you'll just feel the room go, I don't know what's going to happen.
I know. Well, most Trump jokes are so fucking hack now. Like, I feel like everyone's doing the same angle. You know, especially as I say, these late night hosts, we're getting the same take from.
They're beating it to death.
Kimmel, you know, they're all funny dudes, but they're all doing the exact same take. And you're like, and then it's beyond that, because then you got the cable ones. You got Sam B, you got Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
And they're all good. They're all talented, but it's like, I love Michelle Wolf's show because they tried to make her that, and she's not that. She's like a real comic.
Yeah.
And if she got more of a shot on that network.
I'm stunned, man.
How do you
Because
give up
she was
on
getting good fucking press.
And I'm not just saying that because she tweeted my special out today. I think Michelle is, no, she's great.
I just saw her the other night at the Cellar, and I just thought that she was amazing on stage.
She's a great joke writer, and she's also like she's not going for that easy angle ever. She's got like, it's almost like 90s Chris Rock, where it's like, oh, you're just taking the fucking hard angle every time and you're making it funny. So yeah, I love watching Michelle. And she deserved more of a shot because she was the only one of them who wasn't doing almost like Conan, I guess, is the other. Conan keeps it really funny, I think. But
I haven't seen actually Conan in a while. But I know that he hasn't leapt into the whole political stuff every night, right?
Escapism is valuable too, and no one talks about that. But really, it really is. I think where not everything has to be so obvious. Smart people will read between the lines, I think. But
Chris, you're not plugging he's got a big special coming out. And
Amy Schumer presents Sam Morril, Positive Influence. Premieres Friday, September 14th at 11 p.m. on Comedy Central. And Encore Sunday, September 16th at 11:30 p.m. on Comedy Central. I'm
in Connecticut this weekend too. If you're at the Stage 1 in Fairfield, Connecticut, check it out.
Yes, Earl. You coming in here to take his microphone away? Is that it?
You want to get me eating these M&Ms? These
that
are fucking.
point?
I mean, this is already.
You know, you can take a picture.
This is already the most fun show to do, and you got M&Ms too.
I can't hear you.
It was glare.
Oh, okay. It's for social media. Just when we sit around.
Was I too intense? I feel like we got so intense.
No. I fucking love the conversation. I love the conversation.
That's my thing too. Like Apollo got fired from Sirius, and it's like, to me, why can't we all just like? I just feel like we can't get along, and I love.
Oh
Nick.
no, I don't think Apollo actually got punched not too long ago when he came off stage. But
I love Nick on a personal level. Like he's always been so cool to me coming up, and I've always admired his comedy. And even when I disagree with him, I laugh, and I'm like, well, isn't that what comedy's supposed to be about? Is connecting. I mean, that's
absolutely
to me
100%.
That's what made Bill Hicks great. That a lot of these young kind of like liberal comics don't understand. He was doing that shit in like Alabama.
Yes, he was.
They're only going to like Portland and Seattle, and they're like, Bill Hicks was doing his liberal comedy he was converting people because that's how good the jokes were, and that's the power of a great joke.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I mean that's when you're on a level that you can't even fucking set out to when you're young. You know what I mean? That's what it takes a lot of years.
But don't you get sick? Like that's why I like Norm as just a comedian, is because there's so many comics virtue signaling on the internet. There's so many comics patting themselves on the back. They're all saying the exact, Louis disgusting. It's like, and then I saw Andy Haynes post something that I thought was really funny. I'm like, all right, if you want to take that angle, you have the power to make that funny. Why aren't you using that power? And Andy said, Andy Haynes tweeted, I was molested by my babysitter when I was a kid, but he was the best babysitter, so my parents just kept using him. And I was like, see, that's how you do it.
Right.
Because now you're making that point comedically, and you have that skill. Why are you just saying what anyone on the street could say? It's like if Superman's like, nah, I'm just going to blog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, too, and this Norm is saying to me, and this is, we're playing this on Friday, but he's like, what he was shocked about is comedians were on the side of not giving some of these, and he was like, and you can see it's a different thing because comedians normally can say, oh, Nick DiPaolo is hilarious.
Not a lot of comedians. I found more comics are more like, I disagree with him. I don't like him.
But do you think that's the younger guys more than the guys he came up with?
Of course.
So, and the guys that he came up with, he's funny, and Colin is funny, and they're on opposite sides, and they love each other, and they're both funny. But your generation of comedian may be a lot more of he's too abrasive. It's not my style.
Yeah, I think with Norm, it's a weird time that we're turning. I don't like the mindset, like being unbooked. I don't like the mindset of I disagree with him. Let's erase him.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be like the mob mentality where it just, it's overwhelming. It doesn't always make a ton of sense, but you're like, well, other people are saying this, I'm going to get in on it. And it's almost when like someone dies and you're like, let me get those retweets. Some people think, and with the mob and Norm, it was like, he's out now. And it's like, he'll be back, of course. But there's like it's almost like when you're a kid and you're like, go in the hall. That's like what this feels like. It feels like these people are like hall monitors and teachers, and they're like, and it makes me feel like a kid a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And
we're in trouble.
I will tell you this. I got to see, I think 3 or 4 of Norm's shows. They're the exact opposite of political. He has Jane Fonda on there for 38 minutes. They don't bring up politics. He's like, can you do a Brando impression? You know what I mean? And she's like, what? No. And then I'm also going to give this away. He holds a kiss with Jane Fonda, 80-year-old Jane Fonda, that goes on a while.
Well, that's a great point also where you bring up Norm. I do think that Steve Bannon should be held to a higher standard than Norm. We think comedians have an out, but I think people that are like puppeteers in a very divisive administration, they should be held to a higher standard. Like I don't think Jon Stewart should have been held to the same standard as Dick Cheney. Do you?
I think eventually Jon Stewart had pushed himself so far in that direction. You know what I mean? Where you weren't seeing him doing jokes about rain or what, you know what I mean? And you know that he doesn't just go around and talk.
I don't know, man. I saw him do stand-up in San Francisco at Clusterfest, and I was like, this is joke heavy. He's a stand-up.
When he jumped out of that position. But he had,
so you think it was getting too much for him?
I think it definitely had gotten too much for him.
It's got to be a stressful job.
There was no way that he needed to walk away from that job. There was a lot of people really disappointed. And
well, he became like more than a comedian, and that's almost like a dangerous position when you become like, where people are like, this is the most trusted news source, and you're like, well, that's not good.
Yeah, that's scary.
Like a show on Comedy Central, shit. Yeah, we're in trouble.
But I will say, like Trevor, who I think is a fucking great guy, and he's obviously a funny guy.
That's how every comic doesn't want to be referred to. He's a great guy.
Well, he is, but I was saying he doesn't have any of the heat. You know what I mean? Like something happened on Jon Stewart's show, and it was all over the fucking news.
But John was also there at the right time. I mean, he was so freaking good. I mean, I'm not even taking anything away, but like Trevor is, there's
the Trump time. This is the time to be able to go viral.
Sure, but
if you're doing a political show.
But look at the competition. Stewart didn't have that competition. Every show that comes out seems to be a fucking Stewart clone now. That's my point. Where it's like you got the Daily Show, you got Last Week Tonight, you got Sam B, you got Jordan Klepper's show. And even when they go different, I guess that's more of like a Colbert-esque thing.
Yeah.
But even Colbert was like a spin-off of the Daily Show format, even though he went a different way. So it's like, when Stewart was there, he was the only one. You know what I mean? Now everyone's doing it. It's harder, man. It's just harder.
But have you seen Jim Jeffries' show?
I think he's great.
I think he's unbelievable.
I think he's probably the most underrated one because Jim has this rare ability. He's a liberal guy, but he's not like that smug liberal.
He's a knockaround guy. He's a street guy. He really is.
I've had some rough nights with Jim. He's he's like I remember I opened for him once, like probably 6 years ago, and he was supposed to come to my family Thanksgiving, and I was so glad he slept in. I was like, this would not have gone. Let me tell you people an anecdote. I'm like, fuck, is this going to be the Ty Hooker one? Shit. But no, he's such a... he's so politically incorrect too, which is good because there's like this one type of liberal now that seems like okay, like that Bill Maher, like okay, you know, and it's almost like it's such a hateable personality, and I think Jim at least embodies this different type of liberal, which is
absolutely. And maybe that's from being in Australia where everybody's a little, dustier than we are here.
They drink. I remember we were working together once, and I think he must have had 15 Malibu pineapples. I was like, Malibu pine? Are you trying to get diabetes? And he was like, oh, I like to switch it up. He was like, that's his like off night drink.
Right.
Australians love Malibu pineapple.
That's hilarious.
It's such a weird. I mean, it tastes delicious, but you're like, this has got to be horrible for me.
Yeah. Well, maybe they need it. Maybe they're not getting the right vitamins that they need some pineapple in there. Now
that's their fish oil over there.
You're an alcoholic. Do you turn around and drink different things, or you stay with your drink?
Mostly I just stick with whiskey and a beer. Like whiskey.
Oh my God, that's like the Mackie combo, the Boilermaker.
Yeah, it is.
Damn.
That's Western
what whiskey
PA
do you do?
right there.
I like Jameson or Jim Beam.
That's good stuff, man.
But like in a brunch situation, I might do like a margarita. That's as tropical as I'm gonna go.
We're doing the spicy jalapeno margaritas in the cellar lately.
Yeah.
Fucking good, man.
Well, the margarita is really funny because it's like the only thing that you can't non-alcoholic. That fucking drink you can't create without the alcohol. They can fake all the other drinks, but they can't fake a margarita.
Well, yeah, you need the booze.
Yeah.
You need a tequila.
Yeah.
Tequila is really like, that's like all the comics are drinking tequila now. Every comedian's doing the Casamigos or something.
Right.
Clooney cashed in, man.
That thing went for over $1 billion.
That guy is just, he can't lose.
Right.
I feel like since he was in the movie like he had ER, but then he was in the movie Out of Sight, and now it's like, oh, you're just a movie star forever. You get to bone whoever you want.
Do you remember what the first hit of his was Dusk to Dawn? And I remember thinking, why are they giving it to this fucking TV heartthrob?
He was great,
and then he was fucking amazing. All right, hard drinkers, time to start hard drinking. He was fucking a badass in that.
Tarantino's great too.
Weird fucking movie. Yeah, Tarantino was just a freak in that.
It was such a weird. I mean, the scene where he has like Keitel is the adopted Asian son. He just gets like eaten. You're like, this is so fucked up. This is so dark.
Pussy. Come on, pussy lovers.
Yeah, Clooney was like, you're right. He was like kind of like a heartthrob, and you're like, ugh. And then I saw him in that, and I loved him. And then I saw him in that movie Out of Sight, the Soderbergh movie. That's a great movie.
It's a great fucking
It's on Netflix.
movie.
I just rewatched it, man. It's like killer dialogue, just smooth ass dialogue. Elmore Leonard, man.
Elmore Leonard. I had him on this show once.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was really fucking cool because you could tell he's just a writer and he wasn't pretentious and
so good.
He wasn't fucking, just like, I think of a story and I write it.
Well, he like knows how to write dialogue so well. Like all his shit turned into movies. So like Jackie Brown might be my favorite Tarantino movie. I loved it.
It's really fucking good.
It's so good.
And when Samuel Jackson kills the fucking kid from Fridays.
Oh my God.
Just fucking blast him in the trunk.
Just vicious.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's fucking
But it's also kind of funny.
Heartbreaking.
The dialogue they had before. That's his gift. That's why I wish Tarantino did more of his stuff because Tarantino's so good at those scuzzy kind of characters.
Right.
But like he wrote the Fire in the Hole, which is Justified, which is like one of my favorite shows ever, man.
Yeah, it's a real good show.
He was one of the best.
Most of his stuff got turned into a movie or a TV show, which is almost impossible to pull off. But like he has these like rules of never explain what someone looks like. Never.
That's so crazy.
You know what I mean? Just let the fucking person figure out what they look like. So you're not really sure whether it's a black guy, a fat guy, whatever. It's whatever you want it to be. And there's like other things he's like, never say, it's just said. He didn't yell it. He didn't exclaim it. Just fucking said it.
You're right.
Yeah.
He didn't have to. It's like a comic that doesn't have to like a Stephen Wright thing. You don't have to shout shit because it's that strong, and that's what his characters always were like. He always just wrote, and he also I love like the kind of like the Michigan outfit and like what's it called, the Dixie Mafia and shit.
Yeah.
I love shit like that.
And then he writes some of the best Florida stuff where he's just bringing up dog tracks and stuff. But here's the other great thing about Elmore Leonard. You could take it on a plane, and no matter where you're landing, you're finishing. You can finish the whole fucking book in one sitting.
Yeah, they move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love people. I like people who write like that, man. They're hard to put down.
That would be the dream job too, because you write that, the money's good, it gets turned into movie. If they buy your book, it's the same as if you wrote the fucking screenplay. You're going to get the money. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to sit and hover over it, and then no one knows who you are until you pay your check, and then they're like, "Fuck, you're Elmore Leonard."
Yeah, that's true. So you don't get mobbed at the
you
table.
Don't get
That's a good
mobbed
point.
Anywhere.
Damn.
It's got to be fucking. But if you decide to go to some book fair, yes, you meet all your fans.
True.
But then you could leave through the parking lot and nobody fucking knows who you are.
That's a good
the
point.
life.
That is the dream, man. You still want to ride the train. You know, you still want to be able to like live your normal life.
You, I was bringing this. You were running your set at the Underground, and you had the smallest flaw in the beginning, something that you stumbled on, and you stayed pissed the rest of your set.
I can't let go. Even when a joke misses on a TV set, it's hard to let go of because you're like, you just want it all to work the way you want it to work, and you work to write the bit, you work to get the spot, and then you're like, let me just properly service this set. And I fucked it up, and I couldn't let go of it. Yeah, I bombed that one.
You were just, and no, it was not. You know what I mean? You had a small flub. I thought the rest of the set, I'm like, this is good for TV. But you came right off stage, you saw me, it was fucking, you know what I mean?
I know.
You were pissed straight away.
I just don't want to waste those sets. I feel like guilty too, and I'm like asking the seller to throw me up to run it, and then I fuck it up, and I'm like, well, I didn't even do a good job. I didn't add to the show, you know. So I'm mad at myself for that too. But late night sets are like, it's hard, man. It's hard to sometimes. I heard Gerard Carmichael kind of trashing them on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said that they're just not right for now. They're like out of place in time and all this stuff. And I thought he made a lot of good points. But Conan's the only one that feels like I'm being actually me on it. The other ones, I feel like I'm doing like a corporate or something.
Right.
You know?
It's funny because I feel like we know guys doing great. Like, I think Mark Norman is doing great sets. I think Joe List is doing great sets.
They're the best.
But, you know, as far as them saying they feel out of time, they never were the norm of anything. You know what I mean? Like, even in the 70s. But it's the best way maybe to get introduced to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, because here is the hit single. You know, here's something for you to go, oh, what else did that? But if somebody hits you with an hour and you don't know them, that's asking for you to swallow a lot.
True.
You know?
True. Yeah. I mean, that's why I think like the social media clips, like I get the most messages when like Comedy Central on Instagram posts something.
Really? That's interesting.
Because that's what the kids want. They want like a 1 minute bit, I think. They just don't, no one has time to watch your full, until they're diehard fans, which is, you know, and even then, who knows? I think the short stuff is where it's at.
An hour is a lot to ask of anyone these days. Does anyone have an hour? It's even happened in football and baseball, you know, and people are like, I can't commit to you. You know what I mean? This was everything that people would go, I just want to comfortably sit in front of my TV. But now everyone's like, I got to fucking go.
Yeah, you're right. It's comedy. It's like, that's the thing is people are like, I want this so bad, but like, well, that might not be the thing. By the time you get it, it might not be, you know, like Netflix is like the hot thing now, but you're like, in 2 years, maybe it's Amazon. Like, we don't know what's going to, maybe it's Apple. Like, there's so many rich companies that could, or Disney, like they might have a streaming thing. We don't know where this is going to go or it's going to end up. So it's almost like everywhere is kind of oversaturated now. Netflix is the easiest to use, but everyone is on, it seems so many people are on it that you're like, well, there's so much to sift through.
Yeah, it is. It is a ton. It's a ton of shit. Go ahead, Chris.
Amy Schumer presents Sam Morril, Positive Influence, premieres Friday, September 14th at 11 p.m. on Comedy Central. And Sam's performing at Stage 1 in Fairfield, Connecticut this Saturday, September 15th. Go to sammorril.com for tickets.
And Atlanta next weekend, Punchline, the 20th through 22nd. That'll be fun. It's connected to a diner, which is like the funniest thing to me. It's so damn funny that it's like...
How is the club, though?
It's good. It's really, I mean, Atlanta's awesome, man. I fucking
But, you know,
love
the
Atlanta.
Punchline has been like... you know, the name in Atlanta for so many years.
Yeah.
So many great people came out of there. Chris, do you have to contractually say Amy Schumer presents?
That was the
That's hilarious.
official name.
Make sure you say Amy Schumer.
When I order a Starbucks, I'm like, it's Amy Schumer presents Sam's Coffee.
Now, did she come to you with this, or does Comedy Central say this is the way we
No. I was on the road with her, and we were, I mean, seriously the best gigs ever opening for Amy because the crowds are massive. She's a good hang. It's like every good thing in one. And then we were doing a gig in Philly, I guess, and we were on a helicopter back, which is like, you're like, this is insane. I'm smoking weed with Amy. I'm on a helicopter. We're drinking like wine. It's a very relatable story so far. And her mom was quoting my jokes, and it was just us three, and her mom kept quoting my jokes. And one of the jokes she quoted was like, You women are amazing because you can fake an orgasm, but you can't fake a good mood. That was like one of my lines. and Amy's like, yeah, I really like your jokes. If you ever do a special, I'd love to be a part of it. Like, do you think you'll do one? I was like, I mean, I've no one's knocking down my doors, but she kept saying like, well, I would do it if you do one. So let me know and no pressure. And I was like, I'll think about it in the second minute. I'm like, we got to fucking make this happen. So
what is her job as the producer? What does she do?
Oh, she got me more money.
Yeah.
She was just very involved. Like, people were like, she just put her name on it, you would think, but she's not. Matt Ruby posted this long thing about that, like how she was very involved in like how it was going to look. Like, it was my choice. Like, I was like, I want it to look like this. She's like, perfect. She would go through the set with me. She's like, I would maybe cut this. It's not hidden as hard as your other stuff. And she was never like, cut this. She was like, just my opinion. Like, she was there strictly to be helpful. You know what I mean? To make it as good a special as I could make. And we went through stuff. We talked about venue. We just talked about like a lot of stuff. And it was funny. She's like managing me on stage before, and my mom walks in. She doesn't know it's my mom. She's like waving. She's like, "Go away." It's my mom's intro to my special. Leave. But yeah, she helped in a lot of ways. It was interesting. I mean, like, I remember I talked to a comic before, and he was giving me all this advice. He's like, "Oh, she's handling it. She'll know." She made sure the lighting was right. She just made sure everything was right.
That's cool.
She made sure everything clicked. She also, there's an opening in the special where I'm in Barney Greengrass, and it's not. I know there's a lot of cheesy openings to specials, and I was very conscious to not make it feel that way. I think it's just a really fun opening, and it's in black and white. It was really like that. I chose that place because it's very New York to me, but the whole sketch was Amy's idea completely. I was like, oh, she could be a great comedy director.
Right.
Because she just was guiding me kind of on how to be and how to do. And I was like, I'm not used to being that silly in a sketch or a segment. And she kind of pushed me to do that. And I think it plays really well.
Well, Barney Greengrass is like so old school New York, and it's that's the place that I really fell in love with borscht. You know what I mean? Because you could get so many things like it's not great or it's just okay, but that is like perfect.
I love old like Jewy deli places.
Yeah,
I love. There's an episode of Louie where he's in Russ and Daughters with I think Parker Posey, and they're just pigging out, and I just loved watching it.
And there's so few of those places left.
Yeah.
Because, and the same thing has happened with Italian places. They're like, oh, we're moving on from that. We don't want our children. You know what I mean? We don't want our children sitting around slicing deli meat all day. We want them to.
But the family business restaurant is like the most feel-good thing. And it's also, you see like Katz's Deli, they're opening a Marshall's right next to it, and you're like, fuck.
I know.
Fucking Marshalls, dude. They did that to that pizzeria next to Stand Up New York on the Upper West Side, too. They had like the pictures of like Spade and Chris Rock, and you're like, it felt like such a comedy pizza place. And you're like, man, they really. It is a bummer.
New York will break your fucking heart, man. There is no doubt the New York that you fell in love with, whatever era that was, it will leave and turn into something else.
Yeah.
And I'll say to young people, I'll go, oh man, this used to be so much fun. Here, you'd get killed, but you would really have fun. But to them, I'm like, oh, they think this is all fun. You know what I mean? This is still New York to them.
It's still great, but but you reminisce and you're like, well, I missed that. There's certain things you just
doesn't take many years. It's only like 6 or 7. You could live here for 7 years, and you're like, hey, they're fucking this place up.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want you want things the way you want.
You're New York. The New York that you moved here for. The one that you fell in love with. And I'm saying that Chris has never lived anywhere else.
No.
Earl has never lived anywhere else. And neither is Vito. These are true New Yorkers. So they don't have the love for it that people who came from somewhere else do.
Yeah, it's special, man. It's really like... Yeah, it's you just see little things bother me. Like even the new Yankee Stadium, I just don't like it as much.
Never will like it.
I just
never will like it.
It doesn't feel like a baseball park. I actually like the new City Field, but like there's something about I don't know. I kind of like a dumpy baseball stadium. It felt better to me.
I agree.
And I'm not one of those people who's like, we can only serve ballpark Frank. Serve whatever food you want. I don't give a shit about that. But like the feel of like a gritty park, like that Yankee Stadium felt right.
Oh, I agree 100%. And now, I mean, I get it. We all want a sliding board and a fucking fountain. And what the fuck?
You gotta have a mimosa while you watch Sabathia on the mound. Come on.
And it is all part of that. Like there is nothing I've ever hated as much in my whole life as the Philly fanatic. Get the fuck out.
What is he? What the fuck is that guy?
He's just a fanatic.
I don't like mascots that have nothing to do with, like the Phoenix Suns just have a gorilla, and you're like, what the fuck is that? You're the Suns. How does that even work?
Sam Morril, thanks so much, buddy. You were fucking great,
dude. It's seriously the most fun show to do. It's always so fun.
I'm glad of that. I'm sorry if you said I look like I was taking the crowd in the Nazi way the other night, but that's really, that's a really funny thing to hear. But do you follow Sam? Because honestly, he's such a great fucking writer.
Thank you, man.
He's great on stage, and you could just hear.
I'm happy with the show now. It's fun to see you there.
It is. It's a lot of fun for me, too. But also, I'm glad that, like you were going, I hope I'm not going. I love fucking people with opinions. Even if it changes in 2 days.
My opinions change constantly.
Passion,
I hate people that are like unmovable on stuff, so I will flip-flop like a motherfucker. But,
Chris, one more time, a nice plug for what we're doing here, okay?
Amy Schumer Presents Sam Morril, Positive Influence, premieres this Friday, September 14th at 11 p.m. on Comedy Central. And Encore is on Sunday at 11:30. And then Sam's performing at Stage 1 in Fairfield, Connecticut this Saturday in Fairfield, Connecticut. And then he'll be next weekend at the Atlanta Punchline. Go to sammorril.com for tickets and all of his dates.
Yeah, get these tickets before this special blows up and you won't be able to get anywhere close to him for a while. All right, that's it for us, Chris. Anything we need to plug?
No, I think that's it for today.
Okay. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Thanks.